Chapter 2962. The Beast Battle Arena was circular with a huge battle stage in the middle. There were seats all around the battle stage. At this moment, 90% of the seats were filled with people of all shapes and sizes. Roar! At this moment, there was a great battle happening in the middle of the battle stage. A snakeman expert was in an intense battle with a desolate beast. The snakeman expert was a first-level celestial god, and that desolate beast was also a first-level celestial god. Both of them were of similar cultivation realms. When they fought together, it was extremely tragic. However, that desolate beast was clearly more ferocious. It was not afraid of death as it constantly roared and pounced towards that snakeman expert. The snakeman expert was gradually losing and was forced to retreat. Roar! Finally, the desolate beast went berserk. At the risk of being injured, it tore the snakeman expert into pieces. Fresh blood splattered all over the ground. Great! Good kill! Exciting! At the scene, there was a tsunami of cheers. Countless people roared in excitement. Men, clean it up! Immediately, someone came to the battle stage and cleaned up the snakeman corpse, wiping away the bloodstains. And that injured desolate beast was also brought away. Following that, another battle erupted. The opponent of the intense battle was a human burly man. On the other side, it was still a desolate beast. Place your bets. Place your bets. Both of them are peak 9th level true god. Who do you bet on to win? Above the battle stage, there was an elder standing in the air. His voice reverberated throughout the entire place. I feel that the desolate beast is stronger. I bet 10,000 middle-grade divine crystals that the desolate beast will win. No, I feel that the human warrior's blood is surging and filled with a baleful aura. I feel that he will be stronger. I bet 20,000 divine crystals that the human warrior will win. Many people began to place their bets. However, their bets were very simple. Many people had something like an array plate in their hands. They entered the amount of bets and who they wanted to bet on. When they left this place, they would settle the accounts. The Beast Battle Arena was organized by the Eventide Demon King. No one dared to renege on their debts here. After the bets were placed, the battle began. The human burly man and the desolate beast engaged in an intense battle. Both of them were peak 9th level true god realm cultivators. But the moment they made their moves, the human burly man gained the upper hand. The human burly man's attacks were decisive. One look and one could tell that he was someone who had experienced hundreds of battles. His attack power was very strong. From the very beginning, he had been suppressing the desolate beast. I'm going to win! I'm going to win! Those who bet on the human were overjoyed, while those who bet on the desolate beast were sighing. Kill! After exchanging dozens of blows with the desolate beast, the burly human roared and slashed out with his saber, chopping off the desolate beast's head. The brawny human won. Someone, clean this up. In the air above the battle platform, the old man ordered again. Wait. At this moment, a silver-robed young man stood up from his seat and stepped into the air. It's Wan Xing. That human is finished. That's right. Wan Xing probably made a mistake again, betting on the desolate beast to win. Every time he makes a mistake, he will feel extremely unhappy. Once he is unhappy, he will kill. Shoo, lower your voice. He's the son of the demon lord. Many people whispered when they saw this young man. They seemed to be very afraid of him. Demon Lord was a title used in Demon City. Under the Dark Knight Demon Lord, there were 9 demon lords. Each demon lord had a very high cultivation, surpassing the 9th level heavenly god realm. They were half-step divine kings. In the heavenly god realm, one had to condense a star core to break through to the divine king realm. Only by successfully condensing a star core could one be considered a true divine king. However, a star core could not be condensed just because one wanted to. In the process of condensing a star core, there was a transitional process. During this process, the star core would not be completely condensed, but it was also the process of transforming the divine fire into a star core. This process was the transition from a heavenly god to a divine king, or a half-step divine king. A half-step divine king's strength was not as strong as a true divine king, but it was still much stronger than an ordinary 9th level heavenly god. The 9 demon lords under the Dark Knight Demon Lord were such existences. Wan Xing was the only son of one of the demon lords. In Demon City, he was naturally a character who could do whatever he wanted. Young Master Wan. The old man in the air bowed to Wan Xing. You caused me to lose money. You deserve to die. Kill. Wan Xing shouted coldly and charged towards the brawny human. The brawny human was shocked. He roared angrily and used all his strength to block. However, Wan Xing was a first-level heavenly god. Although the brawny human was strong, he was still a lot weaker than Wan Xing Puchi. Blood splattered everywhere. The brawny human was killed by Wan Xing's sword. After killing the brawny human, Wan Xing snorted and returned to his seat. The old man in the air did not even dare to fight. One had to know that Wan Xing's father, the all-evil demon lord, was overseeing the beast battle arena. Whoever dared to say a word about Wan Xing was courting death. Moreover, it was just a demon slave. There was no need to offend Wan Xing. Someone immediately tidied up the battle stage. Alright, the next demon slave is a new one. Moreover, he's very young. I heard that his strength is not bad. Everyone, make sure to place your bets. The old man in the air spoke again. Then, he waved his hand and the door beside the battle stage opened. Roar! From one of the doors came the roar of a wild beast. A huge creature walked out. This was a giant bull with a cultivation of 8th level true god. From another door, a young man stepped out. Wu Zifeng. Seeing this figure, Lu Ming's heart trembled violently. This figure was shockingly Wu Zifeng. Not seeing him for a period of time, Wu Zifeng looked much more haggard. Clearly, he had suffered quite a bit of torture during this period of time. Damn it, this is the demon slave? Lu Ming's killing intent was strong to the extreme. At the thought of fighting with a desolate beast under such an environment for others to watch, Lu Ming wished that he could flatten Fiend Capital Mountain. Starting the bets. This young man has 7th level true god cultivation. Desolate beast, 8th level true god. In the air, the old man shouted. 7th level true god against 8th level true god? Could this young man be a proud son of heaven? Many people discussed and began to discuss how to place their bets. Humph, really stupid. Look at his appearance. He's just a pretty boy. What kind of proud son of heaven is he? I bet on the desolate beast winning. Wan Xing snorted and bet on the desolate beast winning. Although Wu Zifeng looked a lot more haggard, it could not hide his handsomeness. As for Wan Xing, he looked ordinary. Looking at Wu Zifeng, he was extremely jealous. This kid is doomed. Many people thought in their hearts and secretly shook their heads. Wan Xing bet on the desolate beast winning. If the desolate beast really won, then Wu Zifeng would definitely die under the hands of the demonic beast. If Wu Zifeng won and caused Wan Xing to lose money, looking at Wan Xing's appearance, he probably would not let Wu Zifeng off. No matter what, Wu Zifeng had to die. Soon, the bets were over and the battle began. That giant bull roared and charged towards Wu Zifeng. Its huge body caused the battle stage to rumble. Chapter 2963. Many people watched anxiously. They wanted to see how Wu Zifeng would deal with an 8th level true god desolate beast with his 7th level true god cultivation. Just as the giant bull was about to reach Wu Zifeng moved. His figure flashed and dodged the giant bull's attack. Then, a sword light slashed out from his hand towards the giant bull. Fast, accurate, ruthless. Puchi. Long wounds appeared on the giant bull's body. They went straight to the bones and blood flowed out. Roar. The giant bull let out a miserable cry, but its bestial nature was stimulated. It twisted its body and charged towards Wu Zifeng again. The two bull horns glowed and shot out two beams of light that were as sharp as divine blades. However, there was another sword light in Wu Zifeng's palm that collided with the giant bull's attack. Pang! Pang! The giant bull's attack was sent flying by Wu Zifeng. Wu Zifeng took a step forward and slashed out again. This sword was aimed at the giant bull's neck. Puff! Blood splattered everywhere. The giant bull's head was chopped off by Wu Zifeng's sword. Wu Zifeng only used 2 moves to kill the giant bull that was 1 level higher than him. This result was within Lu Ming's expectations. In fact, with Wu Zifeng's strength, if he went all out, he would probably be able to kill the giant bull in 1 move. So powerful. Haha, I won. There was a hubbub at the scene. Many people who bet on Wu Zifeng's victory were overjoyed. As for those who bet on the desolate beast's victory, their faces were ugly. The ugliest was Wan Xing. Today, he had failed to place his bets and was in a bad mood. Courting death. Wan Xing roared angrily. His body shot out from his seat and charged towards the battle stage. Young Master Wan, wait a minute. The old man in the air hurriedly called out. Spit it out. Wan Xing shouted impatiently. Young Master Wan, this person's talent is exceptional. You can't kill him. Keeping him alive might be useful. The old man advised. With Wu Zifeng's strength, if he was properly nurtured, he might become a sharp blade for the Devil Capital Mountain. What do you mean I can't kill him? Let me tell you, there is no one here that I can't kill. What does a little talent count for? Scram. If you don't scram, I will kill you as well. Wan Xing shouted coldly, his killing intent cold. The old man's expression turned ugly as he stepped back helplessly. Brat, I'll send you on your way. Wan Xing stared coldly at Wu Zifeng. How dare you touch me? If I don't die, I'll definitely destroy the Devil Capital Mountain. Wu Zifeng said. It was truly a case of a tiger being bullied by a dog. He, the dignified young master of the Wu family, had actually fallen into such a situation. He also felt stifled in his heart. You want to destroy my Devil Capital Mountain? I'll destroy you right now. Wan Xing shouted. He was just about to charge towards Wu Zifeng when a figure suddenly appeared in front of him, blocking his path. That figure was naturally Lu Ming. He originally wanted to wait until he saw Autumn Moon and Yu Linglong before making his move. However, he had no choice but to do so now. Brat, who are you? Scram. Wan Xing was enraged when he saw someone daring to block his path. Scram. Lu Ming said coldly. What? Wan Xing was stunned before he became enraged. In this beast battle arena, there was actually someone who dared to ask him to scram. He was simply courting death. Little bastard, I'll destroy you. Wan Xing roared furiously and charged toward Lu Ming with his palm. However, Lu Ming waved his hand. Slap. A crisp sound echoed throughout the entire arena. Wan Xing couldn't even withstand a single blow from Lu Ming. His attack was easily defeated by Lu Ming and a slap landed on his face. Wan Xing spun 81 rounds in the air. His face was swollen like a pig's head. He looked at Lu Ming with a dumbfounded expression. It took him quite a while to react. Arg bastard, how dare you hit me? How dare you hit me? I'll make you suffer a fate worse than death. Men, cripple this brat for me. Wan Xing screamed. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Instantly, figures flew out from all directions of the beast battle arena. Among these figures, there were both men and women. All of them were wearing iron armor and they surrounded Lu Ming. Brat, how dare you hit young Master Wan? I think you're tired of living. Kneel down and surrender. A burly man strode forward and slapped Lu Ming with his palm. This person was a level 4 heavenly god. He thought it was easy to take down Lu Ming. Brother Wu, where are Autumn Moon and Miss Yu? Where are they? Are they all right? Meanwhile, Lu Ming was communicating with Wu Zifeng. They're fine. They're being held captive in the beast battle arena. We'll be able to save them once we break the beast battle arena. Wu Zifeng immediately transmitted his voice to Lu Ming. Very well. Lu Ming's eyes flickered with a cold, murderous intent. You asked for it. Dang. Lu Ming snapped and threw a punch forward. A 9-clawed dragon appeared and charged at the burly man. That burly 4th-layer celestial god didn't even have the chance to scream before his body exploded and his soul dispersed into thin air. The others were startled. How dare you kill the demon city guard? How bold of you. Let's attack together. At least a few dozen demon city guards roared at the same time. God force of various colors surged and attacked Lu Ming. The demon city guards were the guards of the demon city. They were a lot stronger than the demon generals of the demon city. The weakest among the demon city guards was a 3rd-layer heavenly god. Dozens of demon city guards above the 3rd-layer heavenly god realm attacked together. Today, I'll destroy the beast battle arena. Lu Ming roared and performed the divine dragon image art. 6 9-clawed dragons roared and pounced forward. Each of them was 10,000 meters long and charged at everyone. Although the demon city guards were strong, they were too weak compared to Lu Ming. The 9-clawed dragon image art pounced forward and destroyed all the attacks aimed at it. The 9-clawed dragon did not stop and continued to attack with its sharp claws. Ah! Ah! Screams were heard continuously. Every second, a demon city guard was torn apart by the 9-clawed dragon and died on the spot. At this moment, the spectators around the beast battle arena were stunned. They did not expect that someone would dare to cause trouble here and kill so many demon city guards. This was a big deal. The entire demon city would be in an uproar. As for Wan Xing, his face was pale and his body was trembling. Every demon city guard here was stronger than him, but they were killed one after another. Young Master Wan, retreat. The old man who was in charge of the beast battle arena took Wan Xing and quickly retreated to the spectator stand. How dare you cause trouble here? You're courting death. Demon city guards, move out and kill the intruder. The entire Colosseum was alarmed. The doors on the four sides of the Colosseum opened, and figures flew out one after another. Powerful auras soared into the air. Demon city guards. All of them were demon city guards. There were more than 500 of them. Among them, some of them had strong auras that surpassed the 7th layer heavenly god realm. The demon city guards guarding the beast battle arena had arrived. This was a terrifying force that no one in the demon city mountain could defeat. Chapter 2964. Very well. How dare you kill a demon city guard in the beast arena? No one can save you today. A cold voice resounded in the air above the beast arena. Then, a silver light flashed and a middle-aged man in a silver robe appeared in the air. Father! Wan Xing was elated when he saw the middle-aged man in a silver robe. This middle-aged man was one of the 9 demon lords of Demon City. Wan Xing's father, Wan Yi. Father, quick, kill this brat. No, I want this brat to suffer a fate worse than death. Wan Xing roared. Don't worry. He won't die so easily in my hands. Destroy his cultivation first. Wan Yi said coldly. Demon Lord, leave this brat to me. A tall and sturdy man in iron armor asked for the order. Go. Wan Yi nodded. This burly man in armor was a level 9 heavenly god. It was more than enough to deal with Lu Ming, who was only a level 3 heavenly god. Boom. The burly man in armor took a step forward and a violent aura burst out from his body. Brat, I'll break your right arm first. A sharp spear appeared in the burly man's hand. As soon as he finished speaking, the burly man in armor charged towards Lu Ming and slashed his spear at Lu Ming's right arm. Although he was burly, his speed was shockingly fast. Level 9 Heavenly God? Lu Ming muttered and activated the battle formula, quadrupling his combat strength. Lu Ming's combat ability increased by 4 times. His combat ability soared and he kept throwing punches. Roar. The roar of a dragon resounded through the sky as the 6-9-clawed dragon charged towards the burly man in armor. Break! The burly man in armor shouted coldly. His spear vibrated as he attacked the 6-9-clawed dragon in an instant. Boom! Boom! The spear struck the 9-clawed dragon's claw and a bright light burst out. However, the result was not what the burly man in armor had expected. He thought that he could defeat the 9-clawed dragon in an instant, but the reality was that his body was numb and he almost retreated. How can this be? How can this power be so strong? The armored man was shocked. Roar! At this moment, another dragon's roar sounded. It turned out that Lu Ming had pushed the Divine Dragon Aspect spell to the limit, and the Divine Dragon Aspect spell broke through again, allowing him to condense 7 Divine Dragon Aspects in one go. The 7th Divine Dragon Dharma Idol then pounced on the armored man. The armored man couldn't withstand it and was knocked back. Seizing the opportunity, Lu Ming unleashed the ice chains. The 9th and most powerful ice chains flew out and wrapped around the burly man in the armor. A layer of ice armor appeared on the burly man in the armor with a shocking chill. Whoosh! Lu Ming charged forward, his palm like a saber. With a single slash, the armored man's right hand was severed. The armored man wanted to chop off Lu Ming's right hand, but after exchanging a few blows, his own hand was chopped off by Lu Ming. The others were so shocked that they couldn't speak. Lu Ming was only a 3rd-layer heavenly god, but he defeated a 9th-layer heavenly god in just a few blows. This was unbelievable. Wan Xing's face turned pale with fright. As for Wan Yi, his eyes were filled with shock. Demon Lord, save me. At this moment, the armored man was terrified and cried for help. If you want to cripple me, you'll have to be prepared to be killed by me. Lu Ming said coldly, forming a battle sword with divine power in his hand. Brat, how dare you, Wan Yi shouted. Ridiculous. Lu Ming sneered and slashed down with his battle sword, killing the armored man. A 9th-layer heavenly god was considered a top expert in the demon capital mountain, but he was killed just like that. You're courting death. Wan Yi was enraged, and a violent aura rushed out of his body. Boom! Wan Yi's body emitted a bright silver light, and a terrifying pressure spread out in all directions. Wan Yi's aura was much stronger than the armored man's. This was the aura of a half-step godly emperor, with strong divine power. Brat! I'm going to crush you. Silver Claw! Wan Yi shouted furiously, and his body turned silver. His claws were like metal, and he grabbed at Lu Ming. The force was whistling. Before it arrived, the force was so oppressive that Lu Ming found it hard to breathe. Lu Ming's eyes narrowed. A half-step godly emperor was indeed much stronger than a ninth-layer heavenly god. Ancient God Technique. Without hesitation, Lu Ming executed the ancient god technique at full force, and turned into a blue-armored ancient god. Sky-piercing. After turning into a blue-armored ancient god, Lu Ming thrust out his spear. Boom! The bright spear light clashed with Wan Yi's silver claw, and a terrifying explosion took place. At the same time, countless tiny spear lights and force flew in all directions. Shit, run! Ah, run! Countless people in the spectator stands were shocked, and they fled in all directions. However, when the force landed, many people screamed and were killed by the force. Boom! Boom! The spectator stands of the bestial battle arena were constantly rumbling, and huge pits were formed. Cracks appeared on the ground. Through the pits and cracks, one could see a huge underground space beneath the bestial battle arena. The space below had been completely excavated, and it formed a huge secret chamber, where countless desolate beasts and demonic slaves were imprisoned. Countless spectators fled in all directions, and many of them flew to the sky. It was a mess. In the sky, Lu Ming and Wan Yi were still in a stalemate. Boom! Boom! The two of them continued to exchange a few blows. In the end, Lu Ming gained the upper hand, and he destroyed Wan Yi's silver claw. Wan Yi's body shook violently, and he was sent flying. Lu Ming did not pursue him. He twisted his body and rushed underground. Boom! Lu Ming swept out with his spear, striking the ground. The ground exploded with a terrifying boom, and it constantly collapsed. The vast underground space was completely exposed. Some of the secret chambers collapsed, and some desolate beasts rushed out. Roar! Roar! Many of the desolate beasts had huge bodies. They roared at the sky, and rushed out of the shackles, and rushed into the sky. Set up the array. Wan Yi roared. More than 500 demon capital guards set up a large array in the sky. The large array was activated, and countless divine lights shot towards the desolate beasts. Many of the desolate beasts were penetrated by the divine lights, and died on the spot. Brother Wu, where are Autumn Moon and the rest? Bring me there. Lu Ming transmitted his voice to Wu Zifeng. Follow me. Wu Zifeng shouted, and rushed towards a crack in the ground. Lu Ming followed closely behind, and they flew into the underground space. Originally, the underground space of the bestial battle arena was guarded by many demon capital guards, but now that the demon capital guards had left, there was no obstruction in the underground space. The underground space was huge, and it was divided into 7 levels. According to Wu Zifeng, they were imprisoned on the 5th level. The two of them headed straight for the 5th level, but wherever Lu Ming passed, he would attack. He would blast open the secret chambers, and release the desolate beasts and demonic slaves inside. Chapter 2965. Ha ha ha, I'm free. I'm going to kill my way out and kill those sons of B*cheese in Modu City. Many demonic slaves roared, their eyes ferocious and filled with murderous intent. Some of the demonic slaves here were those who had committed crimes in Modu Mountain and were sent here to become demonic slaves. However, there were even more devil slaves that the Devil Capital Mountain had secretly captured from the outside. Naturally, these devil slaves hated the Devil Capital Mountain to the bone. Roar! Many desolate beasts roared angrily. Their huge bodies slammed everywhere as they charged outside. There were also many demonic slaves who rushed to other secret chambers to release more demonic slaves and wild beasts. Later on, Lu Ming did not even need to do anything. The secret chambers in the underground space were constantly being opened as demonic slaves and wild beasts charged out. However, all evil demon lord and the 500 demon capital guards were too strong. They formed a large formation and shot out beams of divine light, killing a large number of demonic slaves and wild beasts. However, there were too many demonic slaves and wild beasts, some of which were even stronger. All evil and the rest began to feel pressured. Quick! Send the signal for help. All evil roared. Immediately, someone sent the signal. Beams of light shot up into the sky and could be seen by the entire Modu city. Something happened in the bestial battle arena. It's the signal for help. Get ready to move out. Instantly, the Modu city was alarmed. The demon capital guards were all ready to move out. Demon capital guards. Gather. 2 figures walked out from the city lord mansion. One was a middle-aged man while the other was an old man. Both of them exuded a terrifying aura. These 2 were half-step divine kings, the other 2 of the 9 demon lords in Modu city. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Beams of light flew from all directions in Modu city and landed in front of the 2 men. They were all demon capital guards in iron armor. Soon, around 2,000 demon capital guards had gathered. All of you, follow us to the bestial battle arena and kill all the enemies. One of the demon lords said in a loud voice. Kill. All the demon capital guards roared. Then, the 2 demon lords led around 2,000 demon capital guards and charged towards the bestial battle arena. It seems like someone can't wait any longer. Not far away, a young figure appeared in a flash. This figure was none other than Su Mu. Haha, that's great. We've lured away quite a number of demon capital guards. Now we can begin. In another direction, another figure appeared. It was Pei Lin. Let's wait a little longer. Let's wait for the battle to start over there, in case these demon capital guards return. On the other side, 2 silhouettes appeared. They were Wu Shui and the woman with the snake coiled around her arm. The one who had just spoken was Wu Shui. That's right, let's wait. This time, I must get a demon lord token. Pei Lin muttered, his eyes flashing with killing intent. In the nearby buildings, silhouettes flickered. Other than Wu Shui, Pei Lin and the others, there were also some other geniuses. These people all seemed to have the same goal as they quietly waited. In the Beast Arena, Lu Ming and Wu Zifeng smoothly arrived at the 5th floor. In a secret room, he saw Qiu Autumn Moon and Yu Linglong. Both of them looked much more haggard than before. The Devil Capital Mountain shall be destroyed. Looking at Qiu Autumn Moon's haggard face, Lu Ming's eyes flashed with shocking killing intent. Young master. Lu Ming. Qiu Autumn Moon and Yu Linglong were overjoyed when they saw Lu Ming. Qiu Autumn Moon, are you all right? Lu Ming asked. I'm fine. Don't worry, young master. Qiu Autumn Moon shook her head and smiled. Lu Ming heaved a sigh of relief. Seeing that Qiu Autumn Moon and Yu Linglong were fine, he was relieved. Let's go. Let's charge out, Lu Ming said. Then, he rushed out with Qiu Autumn Moon and the others. Outside, it was a complete mess. Demon slaves and desolate beasts charged, while Wan Xie and the demon capital guard set up a large formation to kill the demons and desolate beasts. The huge beast arena was filled with blood qi. It was like hell on earth. That kid, it's that kid. He wants to save people and leave. Wan Xing was hiding behind Wan Xie. He looked around and noticed Lu Ming and Qiu Autumn Moon the moment they came out. However, Lu Ming was in his ancient god body state. It was hard for him not to attract attention. Don't let that kid escape. Kill him. Wan Xie roared and commanded the demon capital guards. Suddenly, terrifying divine light blasted towards Lu Ming. Hide behind me. Lu Ming shouted and protected Qiu Autumn Moon and the others behind him. He waved his spear and swept it towards the divine light. Boom, boom, boom. A series of explosions rang out as beams of divine light were sent flying by him. Let's go. Lu Ming controlled his divine power. A wave of divine power enveloped Qiu Autumn Moon and the others and brought them in another direction. He planned to leave this place first before settling the score with the demon capital mountain. You want to leave? Stop him. Don't bother about those demonic slaves. This kid is the culprit. He must be killed. Wan Xie roared. Then the array formed by Wan Xie and the demon capital guards changed direction and blasted most of the divine light towards Lu Ming. Lu Ming's escape route was blocked. Go, go! As a result, many demonic slaves and desolate beasts were no longer obstructed. They rushed out of the encirclement and flew towards the beast arena. You want to leave? All of you stay. At this moment, a cold voice sounded. In the sky, a blood-red saber light suddenly appeared. As the saber light slashed down, at least dozens of demonic slaves were killed. Hee hee hee. A sharp sneer sounded. In the sky, pairs of ghostly claws suddenly appeared. With a swipe, dozens of demonic slaves were killed. Then, two figures appeared in the sky, emitting a terrifying aura. Demon Lord! It's the Demon Lord! Damn it! Many demonic slaves screamed in horror. The other two demon lords of the demon capital mountain had arrived. At the same time, behind them, streams of light rapidly flew over. The other demon capital guards were rushing over. Charge out together. Otherwise, when the demon capital guards arrive, we will all die. A demonic slave roared. Kill together. Charge. Many demonic slaves and desolate beasts rushed towards the sky together. Courting death. The two demon lords shouted at the same time and attacked together. The blood-red saber light and the pitch-black ghostly claws appeared in the void again. The cultivation of the demon lords was too strong. They could completely crush these desolate beasts and demonic slaves. Screams were heard as a large number of demonic slaves and desolate beasts' corpses fell to the ground. After a while, the demon capital guards arrived. The battle was one-sided and turned into a massacre. On the other side, Lu Ming's escape route was also blocked. Get lost! Lu Ming roared. His spear turned into a few hundred meters long and constantly swept out. Beams of divine light were sent flying. However, Wan Xie and the 500 demon capital guards formed a large array. With their strength gathered, their strength was truly astonishing. Lu Ming constantly attacked, but he was still firmly held back. Chapter 2966. Apocalyptic Triple Strike. Supernova. Seeing that the other demon lords and demon capital guards were rushing over, Lu Ming was also a little anxious and used his strongest move. Lu Ming's body burst out with a resplendent spear light. An incomparably huge spear light soared into the sky like a pillar that supported the heavens. Supernova, when cultivated to the highest level, was said to be able to explode a planet. After using this move, endless divine power in Lu Ming's body surged towards his hands like it was free. The divine power in Lu Ming's body, as well as the divine power of the 10 divine fires, was instantly sucked dry. This move truly consumed too much divine power. Fortunately, Lu Ming had the quantifying character formula. The quantifying character formula glowed as an endless stream of divine power surged into Lu Ming's body. Lu Ming's divine power once again became vigorous and was maintained at its peak state. When this move was used, Wan Xie's expression changed drastically. He felt a fatal danger. Quick! Gather your strength! Wan Xie roared. Wang! Every demon capital guard emitted a resplendent light. They formed a large array, and between them, there seemed to be an invisible thread that connected them together, allowing their power to flow through each other. Boom! A huge beam of divine light formed and blasted toward Lu Ming, colliding with the supernova move. The entire bestial battle arena shook violently. Endless energy blasted the surrounding seats, the stands, and the walls of the bestial battle arena. Even though the bestial battle arena was protected by an array, it couldn't withstand it and constantly shattered. In the next moment, the entire bestial battle arena collapsed and turned into ruins. Some of the demon slaves and desolate beasts nearby didn't even have time to scream before they were torn apart by the overflowing energy and died on the spot. Break! Lu Ming roared as he held the spear with both hands. Divine power surged into the spear in his hands from afar. The radiance of the spear light became even more dazzling. When the radiance reached a certain level, it suddenly exploded. The spear light exploded, erupting with a terrifying energy that directly destroyed the divine light condensed by the demon capital guard's array. Boom! Waves of terrifying energy rushed towards the array formed by the demon capital guards. Oh! Wretched cries rang out continuously as cracks appeared on the bodies of some of the weaker demon capital guards. Then they were torn apart. In an instant, at least dozens of fiend city guards had died. The entire formation formed by the demon capital guard retreated over 1,000 meters. Such power! Wan Xie trembled with fear. The power of this move of Lu Ming's was truly terrifying. If he were to face this move alone, even if he didn't die, he would still be heavily injured. On the other side, when the other two demon masters saw this scene, they were also extremely shocked. That brat is evil. I'll bring people to support Wan He. One of the demon masters, who looked like an old man, said as he led the 1,000 demon capital guards and charged towards the all-demons demon master. Set up the formation. As soon as the old Devil Master gave the order, over 1,000 Devil Metropolis guards formed a new formation. Divine power surged, and a beam of divine light shot towards Lu Ming. Fortunately, Lu Ming was full of divine energy. He spun his spear and released a terrifying attack, colliding with the divine light. His body was knocked back 100 meters. Kill this brat! Wan Xie roared. At this moment, he no longer wanted to capture Lu Ming alive. He only wanted to kill Lu Ming. Lu Ming's combat strength was too terrifying, making him tremble with fear. 2 Demon Masters and 2 Demon Capital Guard formations attacked Lu Ming continuously. Divine Power Dharma Luxana, Ice Chains, 9 layers of crimson golden armor, Apocalyptic 3 strikes. Lu Ming's body flashed continuously as he used all of his divine skills and secret techniques to fight against the opponent. In addition to the ancient god body's tyrannical power and terrifying defense, he resisted the opponent's attack. This brat is only a level 3 heavenly god. How can he have such terrifying power? Also, what's with his divine power? Why does it seem like it can't be used up? Wan Xie, the old demon master, and many of the demon capital guards couldn't calm down and were shocked. If it were anyone else, they would have run out of divine power long ago. However, Lu Ming was able to maintain his peak state with every move, unleashing the strongest power. Dragon Cave, ignore those demon slaves and kill this brat. Wan Xie roared. Of course, he was talking to the middle-aged demon master. Alright. Dragon Cave ignored those demon slaves and led the remaining 1,000 demon capital guards to charge at Wan Xie and the rest. Let's form a large formation together, Dragon Cave said. Wan Xie, Dragon Cave, and the other 2 demon masters led around 2,500 demon capital guards and merged together, forming a larger demon capital guard formation. In this way, the power was even more shocking. Whoosh! A huge light pillar blasted towards Lu Ming. Lu Ming swept out his spear and clashed with the light pillar. Suddenly, Lu Ming felt a violent force rushing towards him. His body shook violently and he was forced to retreat. The 3 demon masters and 2,500 demon capital guards formed a large formation that was too powerful. It had completely surpassed Lu Ming. Kill this bastard. On the side, Wan Xing roared in excitement. He was extremely jealous of Lu Ming's talent and wished he could kill Lu Ming. Kill. The large formation was activated again and Lu Ming was repelled again. At this moment, outside the city lord's mansion, it seems that they have started fighting. Let's make our move. Wu Shui said. Attack. Pei Lin was very direct. He turned into a ray of light and charged towards the city lord's mansion. Slash. Pei Lin shouted and slashed down. A huge ray of light that was 10,000 miles long enveloped the entire city lord's mansion. It was going to split the entire city lord's mansion into 2 halves. However, at this moment, a giant rod rushed into the sky from the city lord's mansion and slammed into the ray of light. The ray of light that was 10,000 miles long was shattered in one hit. I knew you people were up to no good. A deep voice resounded. Then, a burly figure rushed out from the city lord's mansion and stood in mid-air. It was an ape-man that was 5 meters tall. His body was covered in black fur and he held a black iron rod in his hand. His body emitted a terrifying aura. It was the aura of a half-step divine king. You are one of the 9 great demon masters, Pei Lin said coldly. That's right, the ape-man said. Great, I can complete my mission after killing you. Pei Lin's eyes were filled with murderous intent. He activated his divine force and took a step forward, charging towards the ape-man. The terrifying ray of light seemed to be able to split the heavens and earth. A genius that can control divine-grade divine force. I would like to see how strong you are. The ape-man waved his iron rod and charged towards Pei Lin. The 2 of them exchanged blows continuously but there was no clear winner. However, Pei Lin seemed to be at a disadvantage. A half-step divine king's strength was shocking. Although Pei Lin was a divine son, his cultivation was only at level 8 heavenly god and he was at a disadvantage. However, it would not be easy for the other party to win. Kill. At this moment, Wu Shui, Su Mu and the others rushed out and charged towards the city lord's mansion. Chapter 2967. Wu Shui, Su Mu, and the others also charged towards the city lord manor. However, powerful auras also erupted from the city lord manor. Boom. Boom. Numerous figures charged out and forced Wu Shui and the others back. Demon Lord. Wu Shui's eyes narrowed as he looked at the figures in front of him. Including the ape-man from before, there were a total of 6 figures. Their auras were extremely dense and their divine power erupted like volcanoes. These 6 were all half-step god kings and were the other 6 of the 9 demon lords. Including the 3 demon lords from the Beast Arena, the 9 demon lords of Demon Capital City were all present. You outsider sky prides really didn't come to Demon Capital City with good intentions. One of the demon lords said coldly. It's too late for you to know now. Wu Shui said coldly. Too late? Hee hee. You guys want to behave atrociously in Demon Capital City? Today, all of you shall stay behind. One of the demon lords said coldly. His voice filled with cold killing intent. As soon as he said that, numerous figures charged out from the City Lord Manor. They were all demon capital guards in metal armor, and there were close to 5,000 of them. Demon Capital City was said to have 8,000 demon capital guards. Apart from the Beast Arena, almost all of them were present. 6 demon masters and close to 5,000 demon capital guards gathered together. Their aura was truly horrifying. It was like the waves of the sea, wave after wave surging towards Wu Shui and the others. Wu Shui and the others could not help but retreat continuously. Obviously, the City Lord Manor of Demon Capital City was prepared. Everyone is here. Very good. At this moment, a cold voice suddenly rang out in the sky. Then, a sword light suddenly descended from the sky and shot towards the group of demon guards. This sword light was shockingly fast and disappeared in a flash. Not good, retreat. One of the demon lords shouted. But it was too late. Blood splattered everywhere as the sword light flashed. At least 100 demon capital guards were killed. Their bodies were split into 2 and their souls were destroyed by the terrifying sword chi. In the next moment, a black-robed youth appeared in the sky with a sword in his hand. This is a 9th-level heavenly god. One of the demon lords exclaimed with a solemn expression. Obviously, the black-robed youth wasn't an ordinary 9th-level heavenly god. He was a 9th-level heavenly god that controlled divine-grade divine power. Back then, during the Great Battle of Demonic City, such a person did not appear at all. Ha ha ha, the Demon King's token is mine. At this moment, a loud laugh came from a building not far away. Then, with a flash of golden light, a burly figure appeared in the air, shrouded in golden divine light. This was also a young man whose cultivation base had reached the 9th level of the heavenly god realm. The Demon King's token is mine. A deep voice rang out. From another direction, another young man stepped through the air and flew over. The aura emitted from this person was also that of a 9th-level heavenly god. The expressions of the 6 great demon masters became very ugly all of a sudden. Who would have thought that there would be so many terrifying geniuses who had entered Demon City? And during the great battle in Demon City, these geniuses had not appeared. This had caused them to underestimate the strength of the geniuses who had come from outside. However, Wu Shui and the others had calm expressions. Obviously, they already knew about the existence of these heaven's favorites. Clang! Clang! Pei Lin and the ape-man were still fighting. However, Pei Lin was gradually losing and was at a disadvantage. Let's do it. Things might change if we delay. The young man who was shrouded in golden light said. As soon as he finished speaking, his figure turned into a ray of golden light and charged towards the City Lord Manor. Set up the formation. A demon master roared, ordering the demon city guards to set up the formation. However, at this moment, a pitch-black fog suddenly appeared in the sky above the City Lord Manor. The fog instantly enveloped the 5,000 demon city guards and the 6 great demon masters. Ah! Ah! Some of the demon city guards hugged their heads and screamed miserably. After a while, some of the demon city guards fell straight to the ground, no longer breathing. Even those with higher cultivation bases had a pained expression on their faces. This fog can harm one's soul. Leave this place. A demon master roared and charged up, wanting to leave this place. Stay here. A cold voice rang out. The black-robed young man with a long sword charged towards the demon master. The demon master roared and attacked to block. However, after a flash of sword light, the demon master retreated. A deep wound appeared on his body and blood flowed out. The demon master's eyes were filled with shock. Although he was a half-step divine king, he wasn't a match for the black-robed young man. Especially when he was shrouded in the fog and his soul was damaged. Kill! The black-robed young man roared and attacked continuously. He didn't seem to be afraid of the fog. Senior brother is attacking. Kill, kill. Wu Shui's eyes flashed with joy as he charged over. At the same time, the other young men also attacked the demon city guards. These young men were clearly prepared. They weren't afraid of the fog and were able to maintain their peak strength. On the other hand, the demon city guard's soul was damaged by the fog and their strength was greatly reduced. They weren't a match for the black-robed young man. As soon as the two sides clashed, a large number of demon city guards were killed. In less than a minute, more than 1,000 demon city guards had fallen. Ah! A furious roar came from the 8-man demon master. At this moment, a young man with blood bubbles appeared behind the 8-man demon master. The young man's claw pierced through the 8-man demon master's heart and squeezed. A terrifying power exploded from the 8-man demon master's body. The 8-man demon lord let out a blood-curdling scream and was killed on the spot. Senior brother. Wu Shui and the woman with the snake wrapped around her arm were overjoyed when they saw the young man. This young man was also a 9th-level heavenly god. The fog just now was released by him. Kill! The young man charged toward another demon master. Not long after, another demon master was killed. He died at the hands of the young man who was covered in golden light. Of the 6 demon masters, only 4 were left. At this moment, the fog filled the air. The demon city guards were completely at a disadvantage. Every moment, someone was being killed. Quick, send a message to the demon king. Call the demon king out. Several demon masters roared and sent messages to the demon king of darkness. With their strength, they could no longer stop the foreign prodigies. If this continued, they would all die. However, after they sent messages, there was no response. The demon king of darkness didn't appear. What's going on? Damn it! Several demon masters roared. I'll send you all on your way. The young man sneered. Now, there were only 4 demon masters left. As for the foreign prodigies, there were 4 9th-level heavenly gods, 1 for each of them. These demon masters weren't as strong as the 9th-level heavenly gods to begin with. In addition, they were affected by the fog and were weaker. They weren't a match at all. Even if I die, I won't let you have it easy. Let's die together. The remaining 4 demon masters went all out. They burned their divine power and fought fiercely with the 4 prodigies. Chapter 2968. Over at the City Lord Mansion, the battle was intense. The foreign prodigies had the upper hand. Over at the Beast Arena, Lu Ming was completely at a disadvantage. The 3 demon masters and 2,500 demon guards set up a large array, releasing beams of divine light that blasted toward Lu Ming. Lu Ming protected Autumn Moon and the other 2 as he retreated. At this moment, the green scales on his body were cracked and blood flowed out. Young master. Autumn Moon's eyes were filled with tears. She gritted her teeth and attacked, wanting to share some of the pressure with Lu Ming. However, although Autumn Moon's current cultivation had reached the 2nd level of the celestial god realm, she did not cultivate too many other divine powers. Her combat strength was far from Lu Ming's and could not play a key role. Instead, she was injured by the rebound force. Autumn Moon, don't attack. Lu Ming shouted. Young master. Autumn Moon's eyes were filled with tears. Haha kid, go to hell. Wan Xing stood in the distance and laughed. His gaze swept across Autumn Moon and Yu Linglong, flickering with burning flames. I didn't expect you to have 2 such beautiful girls by your side. Why didn't I notice it before? What a pity. But it doesn't matter. After I kill you, I will love them dearly. Ha ha ha. Wan Xing laughed wildly, his face full of malevolence and desire. Wan Xing, I will kill you. Lu Ming shouted coldly. Kill me? You're still dreaming. Wan Xing mocked arrogantly. He was not afraid at all. At this moment, divine light shot into the sky from the City Lord Mansion, and there was a terrifying vibration. They could see it clearly from their side. Not good, there's a big battle at the City Lord Mansion. The demon lords' faces changed drastically. Damn it, it's those foreign prodigies. These guys are definitely in cahoots to disperse our strength. Dragon Cave shouted angrily. Lu Ming also noticed the situation at the City Lord Mansion and was surprised. He didn't expect that those foreign prodigies would attack the City Lord Mansion. It seems that those prodigies from the 9 extinction Heavenly King Mansion didn't come to Demon City just for Mo Yechuan. Lu Ming thought. Go all out and kill this kid. Let's go support the City Lord Mansion. At this moment, Wan Xing roared. Okay, go all out and kill him. Go all out. The other 2 demon lords also nodded and gave the order. Immediately, the 3 demon lords and 2,500 demon capital guards circulated their god power like crazy, and blasted it out like it was free. Afterward, a huge light pillar slashed toward Lu Ming like a huge divine sword. The power of the sword god's sword had reached its peak. Lu Ming's pupils constricted sharply. He sensed a fatal crisis. However, he, Qiu Yu, and the others were enveloped by the array and had nowhere to run. They could only fight head-on. Block it, I must block it. Lu Ming bellowed in his heart and unleashed his full strength. Roar! With a dragon roar, the 7 9-clawed divine dragon Dharma appearances rushed out first. Following closely behind were 9 ice chains. Rumble! The huge divine light formed a sword and slashed down violently. The 7 9-clawed dragon avatars exploded one by one. Then, the 9 ice shackles also exploded. But this way it more or less blocked some of the power of the sword. In the end, Lu Ming waved his long spear and blocked in front of him. Boom! The sword slashed on the long spear. Lu Ming's body shook violently and couldn't stand in the air. His body, which was hundreds of meters high, fell down to the battle stage below. The battle stage of the beast fighting arena was made of special materials and was extremely hard. The overflowing energy of the previous battle didn't break the battle stage. However, this time, Lu Ming landed heavily on the fighting ring. There was a violent roar and cracks appeared on the fighting ring's surface. Lu Ming bent his body and almost knelt down. Block it! Lu Ming roared. He used all of his divine power and the strength of his divine body to resist and not kneel down. However, the huge sword continued to attack. Lu Ming's body trembled as if he was carrying a majestic divine mountain. This kid, Wan Yi and the others' hearts twitched as they sucked in cold air. They had already used their strongest move. They wanted to kill Lu Ming with one move, but they didn't expect that Lu Ming would be able to resist it. Continue, kill him! Wan Yi roared. Then, the 3 demon lords and more than 2,500 demon capital guards crazily circulated their divine power. The divine power gathered and surged towards the battle sword, pressing down on Lu Ming. Boom! The battle stage under Lu Ming's feet exploded and debris flew everywhere. Lu Ming's body bent slightly, but Lu Ming roared and resisted it. More blood flowed out from the wounds on his body. Young Master, Lu Ming, Autumn Moon, Yu Linglong, and Wu Zifeng were extremely anxious. They wanted to intervene, but with their cultivation, they couldn't help much. This can't go on. If this goes on, I won't be able to resist it sooner or later. Lu Ming's mind raced. If this went on, the 4 of them would die here if he couldn't resist it. The consequences would be worse than death. Now the only way is to break through, Lu Ming thought. There were only 2 ways now. One was to ignite the ancient god heart, and the other was to break through. However, after igniting the ancient god heart, his ancient god body would be completely crippled. Last time, it was because of the purple copper coffin that his ancient god heart recovered. However, that kind of luck wouldn't happen every time. Moreover, Guemo wasn't by his side this time. If he took the risk to open the purple copper coffin, he wouldn't even know how he died. Therefore, Lu Ming wouldn't use this method unless it was a last resort. The other way was to break through. For example, the battle formula could increase his combat strength by 5 times. However, the breakthrough of the battle formula required comprehension and accumulation. It wasn't something that could be broken through at will. The only way to break through was through cultivation. Old Liang, how much energy have you refined from the stellar core? Lu Ming asked Liang Ju telepathically. I've already given you the energy I refined last time. How much energy can you refine in such a short time? It's too little. It's not enough for you to break through. Liang Ju replied. Then give me the energy from the stellar core. Lu Ming said. Give you the energy from the stellar core? You're crazy. The energy from the stellar core is extremely violent. Even a divine king would have to carefully refine it before they can use it. You're just a heavenly god. If I give it to you, you'll be stuffed to death. Liang Ju said. There's no other way. I can only give it a try. Give me the energy, but don't give me too much. I can handle it. Lu Ming said to Liang Ju. His eyes were firm. Kid, you're crazy. All right, let's give it a try. I'll accompany you. Kid, I'm ready. Liang Ju agreed helplessly. Come on, Lu Ming said. Bas. Liang Ju went crazy. A violent energy rushed into Lu Ming's body from Liang Ju. Chapter 2969. A surge of energy surged into Lu Ming's body from the measure character formula. This energy was extremely violent, many times stronger than the energy of a volcano. Scorching, incomparably scorching. The hot energy was like a tsunami, crashing into Lu Ming's body. Poof, poof. Lu Ming's body shook violently. He already had some injuries on his body, but this energy made his injuries even worse. Go up. Lu Ming roared, controlling the energy to rush into the long spear through his arm. Bas! The long spear vibrated, creating a rebounding force that raised his opponent's battle sword. Taking advantage of this opportunity, Lu Ming stood up straight. This kid, how can he still unleash his energy? Wan Yi, Dragon Cave, and the others were not only shocked, but also terrified. They then circulated their divine power even more crazily. This time, they must kill Lu Ming, or Demon Capital Mountain would be destroyed. Refine, refine. At this moment, Lu Ming was circulating the universe myriad Dao technique to refine the energy in his body. However, the energy of the star core had not been refined by the measure character formula, so it was very difficult to absorb it. It was a world of difference compared to the refined energy. However, Lu Ming could not care less. He continued to circulate his cultivation technique to absorb the energy, using it to break through to the next level. Not only was the absorption slow, but it was also impure. Even if Lu Ming broke through to the next level, his foundation would be unstable. However, he could not care less now. If his foundation was unstable, then so be it. He would just spend more time to polish it. Rumble! Violent energy surged within Lu Ming's body, rampaging everywhere. It was extremely domineering. If it was an ordinary third-level celestial god cultivator, no, let alone a third-level celestial god, even if it was a ninth-level celestial god, their divine body would probably explode from this energy. However, Lu Ming's divine body was not an ordinary divine body. After he had condensed the ancient god heart, his divine body was constantly being tempered, becoming stronger day by day. Moreover, he had turned into a green-armored ancient god, so the strength of his divine body was even more shocking. He was able to withstand the energy. It's not enough. Old Liang, release more energy. Lu Ming roared. More. Kid, you have to act according to your ability. The quantifying formula expressed its concern. I know. Come. Lu Ming said. Brat, get ready. As soon as the voice of the quantifying character formula fell, another burst of energy rushed out. This energy was even more berserk and scorching than before. At this moment, Lu Ming's body turned bright red. Even the green armor on his skin turned fiery red. His body swelled up like a balloon. The blood on the wound spurted out like it was free. Nest, old Liang, you're spewing out too much energy. Are you trying to stuff me to death? Lu Ming screamed. You're the one who wanted it. I've already reminded you, the quantifying formula said. Lu Ming was helpless. He could only grit his teeth and madly circulate the universe myriad Dao art to absorb this energy. Rumble! There was a booming sound in Lu Ming's body. It was as if a volcano was erupting continuously. His cultivation level was also increasing rapidly. He reached the peak of the third level of the heavenly god realm and started to break through to the fourth level. Boom! Boom! Lu Ming's body kept rumbling. Every time there was a rumble, Lu Ming's body would tremble. More blood flowed out from the wound. Lu Ming was bathed in blood as if he would collapse at any time, but he managed to withstand the attack. This kid is strange. Let's fight too. Wan Yi yelled. For some reason, he had a bad feeling in his heart. He felt that if Lu Ming didn't die today, he would be the one to die. His eyes were filled with viciousness as the divine force in his body burned fiercely. After burning his divine force, Wan Yi's strength skyrocketed. The power of the sword formed by the formation also increased. Lu Ming's body trembled. He almost couldn't block it. You two, burn your divine force together and kill this kid. Wan Yi looked at Dragon Cave and the other demon master. However, Dragon Cave and the other demon master hesitated. Burning one's divine force was very harmful to one's body. Even if it was an ordinary person, their vitality would be greatly damaged after burning their divine force. In the worst case, their cultivation would regress. The half-step divine king realm was even more special. This realm was the realm where the star core was formed. The most important thing was that if they burned their divine force at this time, their cultivation would regress to the 9th level of the heavenly god realm. They might not even have the chance to break through to the divine king realm in the future. It wasn't easy to cultivate to this level. How could they burn their divine force so easily? This kid won't be able to hold on for long. Let's hold on and we will win, Dragon Cave said. He refused to burn his divine force. Wan Yi was helpless. He could only burn his divine force desperately, and even threatened some demon guards to burn their divine force to suppress Lu Ming. Soon. At this moment, Lu Ming had already sensed the 4th level of the heavenly god realm barrier and launched a fierce attack. Once, twice, thrice. After more than 10 attacks. Boom! There was a loud explosion in Lu Ming's body. The 4th level of the heavenly god realm barrier was finally broken by Lu Ming. Lu Ming had reached the 4th level of the heavenly god realm. After reaching the 4th level of the heavenly god realm, the 10 divine fires in his dantian were more vigorous and the divine force in his body was more turbulent. Lu Ming's strength had also increased by a lot. Break! Lu Ming roared. Violent energy rushed out from his arm. Boom! The long spear vibrated violently. In an instant, it vibrated a few 100 million times. Lu Ming knocked away the opponent's battle sword. Then, he led Qiu Yu and the others to take a step forward and avoided the opponent's attack. After the other party's battle sword was knocked away, it continued to slash down on the fighting ring, splitting it into 2 halves. Third strike of the apocalypse, star explosion. Taking advantage of the opportunity, Lu Ming executed the strongest move of the third strike of the apocalypse, star explosion. The divine force in his body, including the energy of the star core that he had yet to refine, flowed out from Lu Ming's arms. All the energy was combined into the strongest move, star explosion. Whoosh! A shocking spear glow soared into the sky, aiming at the formation that Wan Yi and the others had set up. Kill! Wan Yi and the others yelled. They activated the formation and gathered their divine force to form a battle sword slashing at Lu Ming. Bang! The star explosion collided with the opponent's battle sword, resulting in a terrifying explosion. The force of the collision spread in all directions. The collision felt like a battle between 2 deities. The shockwaves that spread in all directions crushed the corpses of the experts that had died in the fighting ring into dust. The area within 100,000 li was razed to the ground. Furthermore, the demon city had set up formations everywhere. Otherwise, the destruction would be several times stronger. Explode! At this moment, Lu Ming shouted coldly. The huge spear gleam exploded. This was the correct way to use the supernova move. Chapter 2970. Boom! The spear light exploded like a planet exploding, forming a terrifying energy storm that swept toward Wan Yi and the others. Bam! The battle swords formed by Wan Yi and the others trembled violently and buzzed. Then they exploded, forming countless energy waves that shot towards Wan Yi, Dragon Cave, and the others. Boom! 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 This energy was too strong. When it charged out, a large number of demon capital guards didn't even have time to react before their bodies exploded and their souls scattered. In an instant, at least 300 demon city guards had died under this move, and the entire great formation had been scattered. Once the formation was opened, the power of the 3 demon lords and the demon guards was dispersed. How could Lu Ming miss such an opportunity? Bam! He stomped on the ground and his body that was a few 100 meters tall rushed up. The divine power that he had stored in the measure word formula surged into Lu Ming's body and flowed out through his arms. Kill! Lu Ming roared and swept out his spear. The huge spear that was 10,000 miles long enveloped a large number of demon guards. Bam! Bam! One by one, the demon capital guards exploded in the air like rotten tomatoes. Blood splattered everywhere. This spear had killed at least 500 demon guards. Damn it, Wan Yi, Dragon Cave, and the other 2 demon lords roared in their hearts, unable to remain calm. At this moment, other than Wan Yi, the other 2 demon lords regretted. If they had known that Lu Ming was so terrifying, they would have listened to Wan Yi and burned their divine power to kill Lu Ming in one fell swoop. However, it was too late to regret now. Kill. Lu Ming stared at the three demon lords and thrust his spear at the demon lord of Dragon Cave who was closest to him. The spear light was like a shooting star, instantly approaching the demon lord of Dragon Cave. Not good. The demon lord of Dragon Cave was shocked. He quickly waved his hands and used his strongest move to block. However, when Lu Ming was at the third level of the celestial god realm, his strength had already suppressed a half-step divine king demon lord. Now that he had broken through to the fourth level of the celestial god realm, his strength was even more overwhelming. Boom! The spear light pierced through the Dragon Cave Demon Master's attack without stopping, continuing to stab towards the Dragon Cave Demon Master. Puff! The body of the Dragon Cave's Demon Master was directly pierced by the spear light, a bloody hole appearing. Dragon Cave Demon Master screamed miserably, his body flying outwards, seriously injured. Die! Lu Ming did not give the Dragon Cave's Demon Master any chance. He took a step forward, and his spear lashed out at the Dragon Cave's Demon Master's head. The Dragon Cave Demon Master was already heavily injured, so how could he dodge? With a miserable cry, Lu Ming's head exploded, and he died on the spot. A Demon Master was killed just like that. In the surroundings, many of the Demon Capital Guards were almost scared to death. They didn't have the slightest bit of will to fight. They turned around and ran, not daring to stay for even a moment. Let's go, let's go. Not to mention the Demon Capital Guards, even Wan Xie was incomparably terrified. He took Wan Xing and fled madly. The other Demon Master also fled in another direction. Don't even think about leaving. With a cold shout, a sword light shot out from the rubble below and slashed at the fleeing Demon Master. I didn't expect such a genius to be captured and brought to the Beast Battle Arena. Lu Ming's eyes flickered. The one who attacked was a young man with a cultivation of peak level 7 heavenly god realm. However, his combat strength was extremely shocking, as he was able to hold back the Demon Master. Such strength was not weaker than Pei Lin. Obviously, for some unknown reason, this young man was also captured and brought to the Beast Battle Arena. The Demon Capital Mountain was really daring to do anything. They even dared to capture such a genius. Was it because of the mountain behind them? Lu Ming's mind raced as he chased after Wan Xie at an extremely fast speed. He must kill Wan Xie and Wan Xing, damn it. Wan Xie was shocked. He frantically burned his divine power and flew forward. However, Lu Ming executed the 9 Heavens Kuanping technique, as if he had turned into a Kuanping. His speed was faster than Wan Xie's, and the distance between the two was rapidly shortened. Whoosh! When the distance was shortened to a certain extent, Lu Ming thrust out his spear, and a spear light burst out, rushing rapidly towards Wan Xie. Wan Xie had no choice but to stop and turn around to block the attack. Wan Xie's combat strength was higher than usual as he was burning his divine power. He managed to block Lu Ming's attack, but his body was pushed back. His face was pale, and he spurted out a mouthful of blood. Your divine power should be almost depleted soon, right? Lu Ming stepped forward, looking down at Wan Xie and Wan Xing from above. Under Lu Ming's body that was a few hundred meters tall, Wan Yi and Wan Xing were like 2 ants. Father, what should we do? What should we do? Wan Xing was scared to death. His body was trembling, and his face was extremely pale. He was used to acting like a tyrant in the Beast Battle Arena, and even Demon Capital City. With Wan Xie's name, not many people dared to go against him. He had always been high and mighty. When had he ever faced such a situation? He was completely flustered, and he was out of his wits. Lu Ming, there's something that you probably don't know. My Demon Capital Mountain has a backer in 9 Extinction Heavenly King Mansion. He's a real big shot. If you kill us, the big shot from 9 Extinction Heavenly King Mansion won't let you go. Wan Xie said coldly. The backer of Demon Capital Mountain. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. As long as he knew who the backer of Demon Capital Mountain was, he might be able to find out who was the traitor of 9 Extinction Heavenly King Mansion. Speak, who's the backer of Demon Capital Mountain? Or which force is it? Lu Ming asked coldly. You want to know who's behind us? You just need to know that we have a backer behind us. A backer that you can't afford to offend. Otherwise, with a treasure like the Devil Knight Spring, how could the Devil Capital Mountain have survived until now? Wan Xie sneered and threatened Lu Ming. Not going to say it? Then I'll search for it myself. Lu Ming wasn't afraid of threats. As soon as he finished speaking, he waved his spear and swept it towards Wan Xie. Wan Xie was shocked. He didn't expect that Lu Ming wouldn't be threatened at all and could only resist with all his might. However, he had been burning his divine force for a long time and had consumed a lot of it. He didn't even exchange a few blows with Lu Ming before his divine force was completely burned out. Bang! Lu Ming's spear landed on Wan Xie's body. The lower half of Wan Xie's body exploded, leaving only the upper half of his body floating in the air. His aura was weak. Then, Lu Ming reached out and grabbed at the void. A suction force appeared and caught Wan Xing in his hand. Wan Xing was like a lamb waiting to be slaughtered in Lu Ming's hand. He didn't have the slightest strength to resist and could only scream miserably. "No, don't kill me. Father, save me, I don't want to die." Wan Xing was crying in snot. He was so scared that he even wet his pants. When he killed others, he didn't even blink. He was even excited. When it was his turn, he was more afraid than anyone else. "Don't kill him," Wan Xie roared. "Speak, tell me who's the backer of Demon Capital Mountain, and I can consider letting him go," Lu Ming said. Chapter 2971. Lu Ming used Wan Xing to threaten Wan Xie, wanting him to reveal the backing behind the Demon Capital Mountain. I don't know who the backing behind the Demon Capital Mountain is. I only know that the Demon Capital Mountain has a backer," Wan Xie roared. "How dare you trick me?" Lu Ming's eyes turned cold as he exerted force in his palm. Wan Xing screamed as his body exploded. I really don't know. I'll fight it out with you," Wan Xie roared as he mustered his remaining strength and charged towards Lu Ming. "I'll send you on your way," Lu Ming said coldly as he exerted force in his palm. Wan Xing's body exploded, his soul scattered. At the same time, Lu Ming executed the moon beheading technique. A crescent-shaped spear light flashed. When the spear light disappeared, Wan Xie also disappeared, vanishing into thin air. Lu Ming didn't have the slightest mercy towards people like Wan Xie and Wan Xing. Wan Xie and Wan Xing were father and son. They controlled the bestial battle arena and committed all kinds of crimes. After so many years, countless people had died in their hands. Lu Ming didn't search Wan Xie's soul because there was no need to. Since Wan Xie said that he didn't know, then he really didn't know. With a wave of his hand, he kept Wan Xie's storage ring and returned to the bestial battle arena in a flash. At this moment, almost all the demon capital guards in the bestial battle arena had run away. Only that young man was still fighting with another demon lord. Although that demon lord had the upper hand in terms of strength, that young man was fighting without any regard for his life. He was entangled with the other party and didn't care even if he was injured. At this moment, seeing Lu Ming return, that demon lord was almost scared to death. Kill! Lu Ming directly charged over. With Lu Ming's participation, that demon lord's fate was sealed. It didn't take long for him to be killed by Lu Ming. "Brother, thank you for saving me this time." That young man cupped his fists towards Lu Ming with a face full of gratitude. "You're welcome. I was just passing by." Lu Ming smiled and put the Demon Master's storage ring away with a wave of his hand. "You must be a genius from the outside world, right? I'm really curious. Why are there so many people here this time around?" Lu Ming looked at the young man. "To tell you the truth, we came to the Demon Capital Mountain this time to complete a mission," the young man said. "Mission?" Lu Ming was taken aback. This was indeed somewhat unexpected. "Could it be that you are here to complete the mission of the Starry Camp? Is the Starry Camp going to start recruiting again?" Meanwhile, Wu Zifeng spoke abruptly. Previously, Lu Ming had been with Autumn Moon, Wu Zifeng, and Yu Linglong. The three of them were by Lu Ming's side. "You know?" The young man stared blankly at Wu Zifeng. "I am Wu Zifeng." Wu Zifeng brought his fists together. "So you're a disciple of the Wu clan. No wonder. I am Yang Shi. You're right, this is indeed the mission given to us by the Starry Camp. Those who wish to join the Starry Camp have to go through a trial. This time, our trial is to obtain the Demon Master Badge and the Demon King Badge of the Demon Capital Mountain. The Demon Masters and Demon Kings of the Demon Capital Mountain have a badge that represents their identity. Only those who have obtained the Demon Master Badge and the Demon King Badge of the Demon Capital Mountain are allowed to join the Starry Camp. the young man explained. Starry Camp? Lu Ming listened with a confused expression. Brother Lu, the Starry Camp is the place where the geniuses of the 9 Extinction Heavenly Emperor Palace gather. The strongest geniuses of the 9 Extinction Heavenly Emperor Palace are all gathered in the Starry Camp. Wu Zifeng explained. Oh, I see. Is the cultivation environment of the Starry Camp that good? So many geniuses of the 9 Extinction Heavenly Emperor Palace are gathered there? Lu Ming was curious. The cultivation environment is one thing. The main thing is that only by joining the Starry Camp can one be recommended to cultivate in the core cultivation sacred grounds of the Taishu dynasty. This is essential if one wants to rise up in the Taishu dynasty and occupy a high position. Wu Zifeng explained. Lu Ming understood. This was a bit like the imperial examinations in the mortal world. One had to follow the rules step by step to reach a high position. Lu Ming's eyes looked towards the direction of the City Lord Mansion. He finally knew why these geniuses would suddenly attack the City Lord Mansion. It was because of the Demon Master Badge and the Demon King Badge. This time, Lu Ming was the first to make a move. It was like a fuse that ignited the battle. In fact, even if he did not make a move, those geniuses would find a chance to make a move. You guys stay here first. I'll go and take a look. After Lu Ming finished speaking, his body shrunk and returned to his normal form. As his cultivation increased, his divine body became stronger and stronger. The time he spent in his ancient divine body also became longer. This was the benefit of having a lot of stamina. Young master, be careful. Xueqi reminded. Don't worry. Lu Ming smiled and then flew towards the City Lord Mansion. Xueqi and the rest did not follow. Yangshi also did not follow. He was injured previously and needed time to heal. Soon, Lu Ming arrived in the vicinity of the City Lord Mansion. However, he did not make a move. Instead, he found a secluded place nearby to hide. Then, he took out a divine pill and swallowed it. This kind of divine pill could restore stamina. Moreover, Lu Ming was also injured previously and needed time to heal. After that, there might be a big battle to fight. This time, the matter was beyond Lu Ming's expectations. In this way, the demon capital mountain could not be saved and would be destroyed. Lu Ming wanted to find out which force was colluding with the Dark Ice Tribe and the 9 Extinction Heavenly King Mansion, so he could only rely on the Dark Knight Demon King. Lu Ming was waiting for the Dark Knight Demon King to appear. In the sky above the City Lord Mansion, the battle was extremely tragic. Demon capital guards were constantly killed and their corpses fell to the ground. The City Lord Mansion was filled with the corpses of the demon capital guards. The remaining 4 demon lords were also suppressed by the 4 9th-level heavenly god prodigies. They were in danger. I'll fight it out with you. One of the demon lords roared. The divine power in his body burned as he fought fiercely with the 9th-level heavenly god prodigies. At the same time, the other 3 demon lords gritted their teeth and burned their divine power, desperately trying to escape. Want to escape? Dream on. The 4 9th-level heavenly god prodigies shouted coldly. They did not want to achieve anything, but they did not want to make any mistakes. They changed their strategy and only entangled the other party, no longer taking the initiative to attack. There was a time limit to burning divine power. Soon, their divine power would be exhausted. At that time they would be at their mercy. Indeed, not long after, the 4 demon lords' auras rapidly declined. Kang! The sound of a sword shook the sky. The black-robed youth slashed across the sky and killed a demon lord. Die! The youth covered in golden light killed a demon lord with a palm. And Wu Shue's senior brother, the blood-robed youth, also killed a demon lord. Demon lord! Demon lord! The last demon lord roared crazily, his face full of unwillingness. However, before he could say anything, he was also killed. At this point, the 9 demon lords of the demon capital city were all dead. Chapter 2972. After the 4 prodigies killed the demon lords, they looked towards the depths of the City Lord Manor. Boom! At this moment, a vast aura erupted from the depths of the City Lord Manor, following which, a figure stepped out and stood in the air. This person was the Dark Knight Demon King. Dark Knight Demon King, you finally appeared. Wu Shue's senior brother, the blood-robed youth, said coldly. Why? Why do you want to kill us? The Dark Knight Demon King's face was filled with malevolence. Why do you ask so many questions? Do we need a reason to destroy a small demon capital mountain? The youth who was covered in golden light was extremely domineering. Ha ha ha, I don't need a reason. Indeed. The Dark Knight Demon King laughed, his eyes becoming even more malevolent. He stared at the four prodigies and sneered. Although your talents are high, you're only in the heavenly god realm. Do you think you can fight me? Also, you've just gone through a huge battle and should have used up a lot of your divine energy. Ha ha ha. The Dark Knight Demon King sneered. So you didn't come out just now because you wanted to use up our divine energy. What a vicious method. The black-robed youth said. Obviously, the Dark Knight Demon King knew about the battle outside. However, no matter how the demon lords shouted, the Dark Knight Demon King didn't appear. He wanted to let the demon lords use up their divine energy. The more they used up, the more confident he would be. Ha ha, those trash sacrificed themselves for me. It's a worthy death. As for you, there are so many prodigies. Today, I'll be able to kill so many of you. Ha ha ha. The Dark Knight Demon King sneered, his aura becoming even more violent. Boom. He suddenly attacked, throwing out a palm. This palm was aimed directly at the prodigy who was covered in golden light. Boom. The youth who was covered in golden light had been paying attention to the Dark Knight Demon King. The moment the Dark Knight Demon King attacked, he attacked as well. A huge golden palm print blasted forward. The two palm prints clashed in the void. Boom. The void exploded, and a powerful force spread out. Then, the golden palm print collapsed and the youth who was covered in golden light retreated, spitting out a mouthful of blood. There's an insurmountable gap between the heavenly god realm and the god king realm. Today, I'll let you know that the gap between the heavenly god realm and the god king realm isn't something that can be bridged with talent. The Dark Knight Demon King roared. His entire being emitted a dazzling light, as if he was a burning star. His divine energy was extremely dense. Even the weakest divine king was several times stronger than a heavenly god. Boom! The demon of the night moved again, continuing to attack the young man who was covered in golden light. King Suppression Pagoda. At this moment, the young man whose body was covered in golden light let out a long cry. His forehead shone and a small pagoda flew out. The small pagoda was golden in color. After it flew out, it rapidly enlarged, becoming the size of a mountain. Wang! The small pagoda trembled, and waves of mysterious energy spread out, enveloping the Darkness Devil King. The Dark Knight Demon King's aura trembled as if it was unstable. Damn it, a treasure specially made to deal with divine kings. The Dark Knight Demon King roared. This kind of treasure wasn't a divine weapon, but a secret treasure that had been specially made. This kind of secret treasure was specially made to deal with divine kings. It produced a special wave that could affect the divine king's star nucleus. When the star nucleus was unstable, one's strength would be greatly reduced. Of course, the higher one's cultivation was, the smaller the effect would be. However, for someone like the Dark Knight Demon King, who was in the first heaven of the king god realm, the effect was still significant. If talent can't make up for it, what about treasures? The young man whose body was covered in golden light sneered. His aura burst out, and he attacked the Dark Knight Demon King. Boom! The two of them exchanged another blow. This time, the young man whose body was covered in golden light was pushed back again. You want to rely on a treasure to deal with me? Dream on! The Dark Knight Demon King roared. He crazily circulated his divine energy, trying to get out of the range of the King Suppression Pagoda. Who said that there's only one treasure? King Destruction Bell. Wu Shue's senior brother waved his hand, and a big green bell flew out. Dang! Dang! The big bell vibrated, producing sound waves that rushed towards the Dark Knight Demon King. The Dark Knight Demon King's aura trembled, becoming unstable. King Extinction Sword. The black-robed young man shouted coldly. He waved his hand, and a battle sword flew out. Boundless sword chi rushed towards the Dark Knight Demon King. Three treasures that were specially used to deal with god kings. At this moment, the Dark Knight Demon King's expression changed. It became extremely ugly. Under the suppression of the three treasures, he could feel the star nucleus in his body trembling non-stop, as if it was being suppressed. No matter how hard he tried, he couldn't exert his full strength. Humph! Dark Knight Demon King, today will be the day you die. Hee hee. Wu Shue's senior brother sneered. His figure flashed, and he charged towards the Dark Knight Demon King. At the same time, the other three Ninth Heaven God Realm geniuses also charged towards the Dark Knight Demon King. You want to kill me? Don't even think about it. The Dark Knight Demon King roared. How could he allow himself to be captured without putting up a fight? He used all his strength to resist. Boom, boom, boom. The four geniuses and the Dark Knight Demon King engaged in an intense battle. The City Lord's mansion was boiling, and all kinds of divine lights were flying in all directions. In the surroundings, the battle between the other geniuses and the demon city guards had already stopped. The remaining demon city guards who were still alive had already fled. The other geniuses didn't chase after them. Their target was the 9 demon lords and the Dark Knight Demon King. Killing the demon city guards was useless. During this process, Lu Ming didn't make a move. It was such a good opportunity to sit on the mountain and watch the tiger head. Why would he stupidly rush out? He focused on recovering and healing his injuries. The wounds on his body had basically healed, and his stamina had also recovered by 60 to 70%. He was waiting for an opportunity to make a move. Let's attack too. On the side, Pei Lin, Wu Shui, and a few other stronger geniuses also joined the battle. Under the influence of the secret treasure, their strength was enough to pose a threat to the Dark Knight Demon King. In the blink of an eye, the battle between the two sides had gone on for a few minutes. The Dark Knight Demon King was gradually losing and was at a disadvantage. A sword light flashed, and a sword wound appeared on the Dark Knight Demon King's body. Blood flowed out. Bang! Following that, the young man whose entire body was suffused with golden radiance imprinted a palm print on the Dark Knight Demon King's body, causing the Dark Knight Demon King to stagger and retreat repeatedly. Blood seeped out from the corner of his mouth. Seeing the Dark Knight Demon King injured, these geniuses became even more excited. They used all kinds of methods, divine skills, and secret techniques, which broadened Lu Ming's horizons. Lu Ming discovered that the secret techniques that these geniuses of the 9 Extinction Heavenly King Mansion controlled were shockingly powerful. Some were even comparable to his Divine Dragon Aspect technique. Of course, this was because Lu Ming was far from cultivating the Divine Dragon Aspect technique to greater mastery. The Divine Dragon Aspect technique was obtained from a ruin. The more Lu Ming cultivated, the more he felt that it was unfathomable. If he could cultivate hundreds or thousands of Divine Dragon Aspects in the future, that kind of power made Lu Ming incomparably look forward to it. Chapter 2973. The Dark Knight Demon roared furiously as he tried his best to resist. Both of them exchanged over 100 blows. More and more wounds appeared on the Dark Knight Demon's body. He relied on the defense and vitality of a Divine King to hold on for the time being. However, if this continued, he wouldn't be able to hold on any longer and would be exhausted to death. He was frustrated as he couldn't unleash his full strength. The Dark Knight Demon frantically activated the Star Core, but the 3 secret treasures emitted a strange wave that restrained his Star Core. He tried his best to unleash his full strength, but he could only unleash 50 to 60% of its power. Puff! A sword light slashed towards the Dark Knight Demon's neck. He dodged it quickly, but it still left a wound on his cheek. Damn it, damn it! The Dark Knight Demon roared. He was a little crazy after being injured continuously. His eyes were filled with malice. If you want me to die, then let's die together. It's worth it to drag all of you down with me. The Dark Knight Demon King roared. His aura suddenly became berserk. Following that, a ball of light emitted from his dantian. The ball of light was dazzling and resplendent. Following that, a crystal the size of a dragon's eye appeared. As soon as the crystal appeared, it emitted a terrifying wave of energy. It's a star core! A young man exclaimed. In the distance, Lu Ming's gaze also froze. He recognized that the crystal was a star core. This was the star core that the Dark Knight Demon condensed when he broke through to the Divine King realm. It was different from the stellar core that Lu Ming obtained. The stellar core that Lu Ming obtained was many times stronger than this star core in terms of size, quality, and energy waves. Although it couldn't be compared to the stellar core, the energy waves emitted by this star core were extremely terrifying. Buzz! As soon as the star core appeared, it vibrated slightly. Then, a terrifying wave of energy spread out from the star core as if it was going to break through the suppression of the 3 secret treasures. Oh no, he's going to self-destruct his star core. Retreat! The young geniuses were terrified as they backed off in a frenzy. Go to hell! The Dark Knight Demon King roared with a ferocious look on his face. Then with a cracking sound, a crack appeared on the star core and it split into 2. Half of it flew into the Dark Knight Demon King's dantian while the other half exploded with a boom. The Dark Knight Devil King didn't really want to completely detonate his astral core. He actually split it into half. This way, he could at least preserve some of his cultivation base. Even if it was only half of a star core self-destruction, the power would still be terrifying. It was as if a planet had exploded. A mushroom cloud rose up, and a terrifying energy rushed out in all directions. The first to bear the brunt were the 3 secret treasures. Buzz, buzz, buzz. The 3 secret treasures shook violently. Then, cracks appeared on them. Soon, more and more cracks appeared on them. Then they exploded. The 3 secret treasures exploded one after another, and the ripples disappeared. The remaining energy caused the Sky Prides to vomit blood. Fortunately, they had reacted early and retreated early. Moreover, the Dark Knight Devil had only self-destructed half of its star core. Although they were injured, their injuries were not serious. The Dark Knight Devil King also vomited blood. After self-destructing half of his star core, he was also seriously injured and his vitality was greatly damaged. At this moment, the Dark Knight Devil King couldn't care less about his injuries. He ran for his life. He didn't know where to go and randomly chose a direction to escape. That direction happened to be the direction where Lu Ming was hiding. Chase! The Sky Prides caught their breath and chased after the Dark Knight Devil King. Swish! The Dark Knight Devil King's speed was very fast. Soon, he was not far away from Lu Ming. He's really coming to me. Lu Ming curled his lips and took out a long spear. With a swing of his hand, the long spear flew out like lightning and went straight for the Dark Knight Devil King's face. The Dark Knight Devil King was shocked. He waved his hand and slapped the long spear away, but his body also paused for a moment. At this moment, Lu Ming had already rushed out. Swish! Lu Ming soared into the sky and charged toward the Dark Knight Devil King. In the process of rushing out, his body swelled rapidly and turned into a few 100 meters tall green-armored ancient god. Even before Zhang Xian arrived, the 9 ice chains had already rushed out. It's you, Lu Ming. Get lost. When the Dark Knight Devil King saw Lu Ming, he roared and slapped out with his palm. The earth-shattering palm force shattered the 9 ice chains. However, Lu Ming's follow-up attack also arrived. Moon slashing. Lu Ming held the spear with both hands and slashed down. A huge spear light pressed down on the Dark Knight Devil King. Boom! The spear light collided with the Dark Knight Devil King's attack. The Dark Knight Devil King's body shook violently. His palm almost exploded and blood spurted out of his mouth. The Dark Knight Devil King had self-destructed half of his star core. His vitality was greatly damaged and his strength was less than 10%. After Lu Ming reached the 4th level of the Heavenly God realm, his combat strength had completely surpassed the current Dark Knight Devil King. As soon as the two exchanged blows, the Dark Knight Devil King was severely injured. Die! Star explosion. Taking advantage of the opportunity, Lu Ming used his strongest move. A ray of spear light suddenly burst out and pierced towards the Dark Knight Demon King. The Dark Knight Devil King roared and tried his best to defend himself. However, the spear light exploded like a star core. The Dark Knight Devil King screamed in agony. He was blasted into pieces by the force. Only his soul was left. He tried to escape. However, Lu Ming grabbed with his hand and a 9-clawed dragon flew out. It opened its mouth and swallowed the Dark Knight Devil King's soul into the air. With a mournful and unwilling scream, the Dark Knight Demon King's soul was completely destroyed. The Dark Knight Devil King was dead. Following this, Lu Ming waved his hand and put away the Dark Knight Devil King's storage ring. As soon as Lu Ming put away the storage ring, Wu Shue's senior brother, the young man covered in a golden glow, and the others arrived and appeared in front of Lu Ming. Brat, it's you! Wu Shue roared, looking extremely ferocious. It's me! Lu Ming smiled faintly. Brat, hand over the Dark Knight Devil King's storage ring and I'll give you a quick death. Wu Shue's senior brother, the young man in a blood-red robe, said coldly. He didn't hide his killing intent at all. Give me a quick death? With just you? Lu Ming said in disdain. Humph, brat, don't think that you're so great just because you got first place in the Battle of Magic City. At that time, it wasn't convenient for us to fight so as not to alert the enemy. Otherwise, who do you think you are? The young man in a blood-red robe sneered. He suddenly took a step forward and rushed towards Lu Ming. A huge blood-red palm grabbed at Lu Ming. Get lost! Lu Ming shouted and swept out his spear. Boom! The blood-red palm collapsed and the young man in a blood-red robe retreated. Your strength. The young man in a blood-red robe looked at Lu Ming in shock. He wasn't a match for Lu Ming at all. Previously, although Lu Ming was strong and could defeat Pei Lin, the young man in a blood-red robe thought that he could defeat Lu Ming. However, in the previous exchange, Lu Ming's strength had completely surpassed his. Chapter 2974. Trying to kill me with your strength? You're the one who's going to die today. Lu Ming smirked and charged at the young man in a blood-red robe. Meanwhile, the other young geniuses made their moves too. All kinds of attacks were directed at Lu Ming. Lu Ming's eyes turned cold. His spear shuddered and fired a few dozen spear glows at the geniuses. However, Lu Ming had now broken through to the fourth-layer heaven god realm. His strength was at his peak. Meanwhile, the young man in a blood-red robe and the others were slightly injured when the Dark Knight Demon Emperor detonated half of his star core. Therefore, they were no match for Lu Ming even if they teamed up. The spear glows were blinding and sharp. They penetrated the attacks of the young man in a blood-red robe and the others. The young man in a blood-red robe and the others were knocked back. Trying to kill me with your strength? Lu Ming sneered. He held his spear and charged forward. The long spear vibrated and a huge spear gleam swept out. The young man in a blood-red robe and the others wore unpleasant looks. They yelled furiously and executed their strongest moves. However, they were no match for Lu Ming. They were knocked back in the end. Damn it, why is this kid so strong? The young man in a blood-red robe and the others yelled in their hearts. They were the geniuses of the 9 Extinction Heavenly King Palace, but they had never seen Lu Ming before. Where did Lu Ming come from? Bang! Lu Ming continued to step forward with a ferocious aura. The young man in a blood-red robe and the others were stunned. They subconsciously backed off. Lu Ming was advancing, while they were backing off. They no longer had the courage to fight. Given their current situation, they would only lose if they continued to fight. Back off. In the end, the young man in a blood-red robe and the others were unwilling to give up. They executed their movement techniques and backed off, distancing themselves from Lu Ming. Cowards! You still want my storage ring? Piss off! Lu Ming snapped coldly. The young man in a blood-red robe wore an unpleasant look. Kid, I'll remember what happened today, the blood-robed young man said coldly. Then his figure flashed and he left the place. The other young geniuses also glanced coldly at Lu Ming. They had no choice but to leave. Not long after, all the geniuses had left. Let's search this place. Lu Ming shrunk his body and said to Autumn Moon and the others. Then they rushed into the City Lord's mansion and searched to see if they could find any clues. The originally majestic City Master's mansion had already collapsed. It was a mess and there was no one inside. Lu Ming and the others shuttled through the ruined City Master's mansion to see if they could find any clues about the Dark Ice Tribe and the 9 Extinction Heavenly King's mansion. They did not notice that a person had appeared not far from the City Lord's mansion. This person was the daughter of the Night Demon King, Dark Knight Rose. Dark Knight Rose hadn't appeared in the previous battles. Dark Knight Rose looked at Lu Ming and the others in the distance. Her eyes were filled with hatred, greed, and other complicated emotions. Lu Ming, sooner or later, I'll devour you, he. Dark Knight Rose laughed coldly. Her eyes flashed with an evil light. Then, she disappeared in a flash. Just as Dark Knight Rose disappeared, 2 black figures appeared out of thin air. The 2 black figures were wrapped in black robes. Their faces couldn't be seen clearly. Only a pair of cold eyes could be seen under the black robes. What should we do? The storage ring of the Night Demon is in that kid's hands. One of them said. With our strength, we're no match for that kid. The other person said. However, the storage ring of the Night Demon King must not fall into the hands of outsiders. We must get it. The first person said. The only thing we can do now is to secretly keep an eye on them and send a message back to the Lord to send experts to kill them. The second person said. All right, that's the only way. The first person said. After saying that, the 2 figures flashed and disappeared without a trace. Lu Ming and the others had no idea that they were being watched. They searched the City Lord mansion several times and found a lot of treasures. However, they didn't find any clues about the collusion between the Dark Ice Tribe and the 9 Extinction Heavenly King mansion or the treasures of the 9 Extinction Heavenly King mansion. I wonder if there's any clue in the storage ring of the Night Demon King? Lu Ming thought in his heart. After searching for 2 more rounds, there was still no clue. Lu Ming, Xueqi, and the others left the place. Not long after, they found a secret place. Lu Ming took out the storage ring of the Night Demon King and checked it. Lu Ming was stunned when he checked it out. The Night Demon King controlled the demonic night spring. Over the years, he had accumulated a lot of wealth. In the storage ring, there were all kinds of precious divine pills, divine herbs, and divine materials piled up like a mountain. There were all kinds of divine artifacts, and there were even a few supreme-grade divine artifacts. As for divine crystals, there were countless of them. In addition, Lu Ming also found a saint-grade divine technique. This saint-grade divine technique, when cultivated to the peak, could cultivate saint-grade divine power. However, the Night Demon King obviously didn't cultivate it to the highest realm. Otherwise, his strength would be stronger. Lu Ming smiled faintly. Of course, he had to cultivate this sacred grade technique. In addition, Lu Ming also found a large amount of demonic night spring. There were more than 500 catties. Good fellow, I guess the entire demonic night spring of the demonic night mountain is here. No wonder I couldn't find it before. Lu Ming muttered. Then he took out 20 caddies of demonic night spring and distributed it to Yu Linglong and Wu Zifeng, giving them 10 caddies each. 10 caddies of demonic night spring was enough for them to use for a long time. The 2 of them were naturally overjoyed and kept it. Lu Ming didn't give any to Autumn Moon. He would naturally give her as much as she wanted to use. There was no need for him to give it to her. What disappointed Lu Ming was that he didn't find any clues about the treasures of the 9 Extinction Heavenly King residence in the Night Demon King's storage ring. Could it be that the Night Demon King didn't leave any clues behind? Thinking of this, Lu Ming was a little disappointed. After that, he also checked the storage rings of the few demon masters, but he didn't find any clues. However, there were a few tokens in his hand. A total of 4 tokens. A Demon King token and 3 Demon Lord tokens. This was what Wu Shui and the others were here to obtain. Demon King token. Demon Lord token. As long as you have this, you can join the Starry Camp. Wu Zifeng's eyes flashed, revealing a burning flame. Did we just come out of nowhere? Can we join the Starry Camp? Lu Ming asked curiously. Yes, as long as you aren't over the age limit and your cultivation is above the Heavenly God realm. You can join the Starry Camp as long as you have the Demon King token and Demon Lord token. Wu Zifeng said. After speaking, Wu Zifeng pondered for a while and continued. Brother Lu, if you want to investigate the treasures of the 9 Extinction Heavenly King residence, why don't you join the Starry Camp first? After all, the Starry Camp is close to the guards of the 9 Extinction Heavenly King residence. Maybe you can find some clues. Chapter 2975. Alright, let's join the Starry Camp first. Lu Ming nodded and made his decision. Originally, the purpose of his trip was to go to the 9 Extinction Heavenly King Mansion. He came to the Demon Capital Mountain just to check it out. If he could not find any clues, he would go to the 9 Extinction Heavenly King Mansion to investigate. Alright, let's go, Wu Zifeng said. Immediately, the 4 of them left the Demon Capital Mountain. After a long journey, they came to the core of the Chu Tian star field. They then took the Interstar Field Teleportation Formation and went to the 9 Extinction Heavenly King Mansion. There was still a long distance between the Chu Tian star field and the 9 Extinction Heavenly King Mansion. Even if they were to travel in a straight line, they were still separated by more than 10 star fields. It took them almost a year's time just to travel. Finally, they came to the territory near the 9 Extinction Heavenly King Mansion. They then took the Starry Sky battleship and flew to the 9 Extinction Heavenly King Mansion. Gradually, in the universe ahead, a huge galaxy appeared before Lu Ming and the others. Looking at the galaxy, Lu Ming and Xueqi were stunned. There were actually 3 stars in this galaxy. Normally, a galaxy would have 1 star. With 1 star as the core, the other planets would revolve around the star to form a galaxy. However, there were 3 stars in this galaxy. Huge planets were orbiting around the 3 stars in a strange orbit. Lu Ming swept his gaze across the area. There were at least over 30 planets revolving around the 3 stars. As the distance between them shortened, Lu Ming was even more shocked by what he saw. In the periphery of the galaxy, the planets were shining with different kinds of light. At the same time, there were many colossal ships patrolling around the galaxy. These colossal ships gave off an extremely dangerous feeling. Wu Zifeng and Yu Linglong looked calm. Obviously, they were used to it. These huge creatures are a kind of war machine. They are very terrifying. They can monitor the space around the galaxy. Once they find an enemy invading, they will launch a thunderous counterattack. It is said that even a peak divine king would be killed. Wu Zifeng explained. Lu Ming gasped a breath of cold air. Even a pinnacle god king could be killed. Such might was truly horrifying. Any one of them would be able to crush the Qin Tian starfield. Let's go in. We'll go to that planet first. Wu Zifeng pointed at a fiery red planet at the outermost edge of the galaxy. Lu Ming controlled the Starry Sky battleship and flew towards the fiery red planet. Who is it? With a cold shout, a group of burly men in fiery red armor appeared on the outskirts of the planet, blocking Lu Ming's path. The aura emanating from his body made Lu Ming and the others apprehensive. Divine kings. There are divine kings among them. Lu Ming was secretly shocked. There were 12 burly men in the team. Lu Ming sensed that at least 3 of them were at the God King realm. The other 9 were most likely peak heaven gods. As expected of the 9 absolute heavenly kings' residents. These were only the outermost guards, but there were many divine kings who appeared casually. Their strength was truly unfathomable. I'm Wu Zifeng, a disciple of the Wu family. These are my friends. Wu Zifeng flew out of the Starry Sky battleship and took out an identity token. They are indeed disciples of the Wu family. Have they been to the 9 absolute heavenly kings' residence before? If not, leave your life aura. A burly man in the divine king realm said. Yes. Wu Zifeng nodded. Along the way, Wu Zifeng had also explained the procedure to enter the 9 absolute heavenly kings' residence. Lu Ming was not surprised. He went forward with Xueqi and left their life aura on a disc array. After leaving their life aura, the burly men in fiery red armor did not stop them and allowed Lu Ming and the others to enter the planet. After entering the planet, they flew towards the other side of the planet, towards the core of the galaxy. If they did not pass by this planet and directly entered from another space in the galaxy, they would be attacked by those war machines. Unless they had cultivation beyond the divine king realm, they would not be able to survive. They flew towards the core of the planet. Not long after, a huge planet appeared in front of them. This planet was the largest in the galaxy. Even if they were far away, they could feel that there was a surging energy on this planet. Around each planet, there was a halo that surrounded the planet. It looked very beautiful from afar. At the same time, Lu Ming felt that from all directions, even the universe's starry sky, energy was constantly being absorbed by this planet and converging on this planet. This planet has a great formation that can absorb energy from the outside world. Lu Ming whispered. Yes, this planet does have a great formation that is constantly absorbing energy from the universe and converging it on this planet, making the divine aura on this planet extremely rich. Wu Zifeng explained. He then smiled and said, This is the 9 absolute heavenly kings' residence. We have arrived. This is the 9 absolute heavenly kings' residence? The entire planet? Lu Ming was surprised. Yes, the entire planet is the 9 absolute heavenly kings' residence. Wu Zifeng nodded and explained, The entire planet is shrouded by a great formation. It's like a huge residence or a city. Lu Ming and Xueqi were amazed. This was really a big deal. As they got closer, Lu Ming finally found that the entire planet was shrouded by a huge light shield. However, in different directions of the planet, there would be gaps in the light shield like a door. Wu Zifeng told them that there were a total of 8 gaps in the entire planet, which were 8 doors, distributed in 8 directions of the planet. Each door was guarded by a large number of experts. With such a tight defense, there are still people who can steal treasures from the 9 absolute heavenly kings' residence. Hee hee. Lu Ming sneered. At this point, Lu Ming understood that if there was no cooperation from the 9 absolute heavenly kings' residence, it would be impossible for outsiders to steal the treasures. There must be internal personnel cooperating. They flew towards the nearest door. Around the door, there were a large number of experts guarding. Each of them was wearing armor and had a terrifying aura. Divine kings, they are all divine kings. From these people, Lu Ming felt a terrifying aura. This aura was the aura of a divine king. These guards were actually all god kings. Here, Lu Ming and Xueqi left behind a trace of life aura. That was why they were able to enter the door. As soon as he entered the door, Lu Ming could feel a strong divine aura surging toward him. What a strong divine aura! Lu Ming took a deep breath, feeling refreshed and invigorated. Cultivating here would definitely be much faster than cultivating in the outside world. Let's go. I will bring you to the Wu family's residence, Wu Zifeng said, taking the lead to fly forward. Lu Ming and the rest followed. Chapter 2976. This planet was the 9-extinction Heavenly King Mansion. Therefore, there were no cities on this planet. In the vast territory, all kinds of buildings could be built wherever one wanted to cultivate. Lu Ming and the rest flew high in the sky. They looked up and found that the entire planet had mountains, lakes, and rivers. Moreover, between these mountains, lakes, and rivers, there were all kinds of buildings. Your Wu family's headquarters is on this planet? Lu Ming asked curiously. You can say that, but it's not very accurate. Wu Zifeng said, in fact, in the 9-extinction Heavenly King Mansion, there are many big families with a long history, such as our Wu family and the Qin family where Qin Wuyo and the rest came from. These big families all have experts working in the 9-extinction Heavenly King Mansion. Therefore, their headquarters are all set up on this planet. However, most of the ancestral lands of the Great Worlds are not here. They are scattered in different galaxies. That is the foundation of the big families. For example, although our Wu family's headquarters is here, our ancestral land is in another galaxy. Most of our experts are gathered there. Lu Ming nodded and roughly understood. Soon, an endless mountain range appeared in front of them. On these mountains, there were countless buildings that stretched as far as the eye could see. This was the Wu family's headquarters in the 9-extinction Heavenly King Mansion. Let's go, you guys stay in the Wu family first, Wu Zifeng said. Everyone flew forward. Third young master. Greetings, third young master. Along the way, many people bowed to Wu Zifeng. Although Wu Zifeng's cultivation was not very high, he was the son of the current Wu family head. His status was very high. After entering the Wu family, Wu Zifeng soon arranged a courtyard for Lu Ming and Qiu Moon to stay. In the blink of an eye, Lu Ming and Qiu Moon had been in the Wu family for 3 days. On this day, Wu Zifeng and Yu Linglong found Lu Ming. Brother Lu, there's something I want to ask of you, Wu Zifeng said. Brother Wu, if you have something to say, just say it. Lu Ming smiled. Brother Lu, are you selling that Devil Master token? Wu Zifeng said. Demon Lord token? What? Do you need it? If you need it, just take it. Autumn Moon and I only need 2 pieces. Lu Ming said. He had 3 Demon Master tokens and 1 Demon King token. He and Autumn Moon would only need 2 tokens to enter the Universal Camp. There was no point in keeping the extra 2 tokens. Originally, he wanted to give it to Wu Zifeng and Yu Linglong. However, their cultivation had not reached the Heavenly God realm, so they could not use it. It's like this. I have 2 cousins who also participated in the Starry Sky Camp assessment. However, they were unlucky and did not complete the assessment. Therefore, I would like to purchase 2 Demon Lord tokens from you, Wu Zifeng said. The Wu family also participated in the Starry Camp assessment? Why didn't I see him on Devil Capital Mountain? Lu Ming asked curiously. The Devil Capital Mountain assessment is just one of the many assessments in the Starry Camp. Actually, there are many geniuses who want to join the Starry Camp. The assessment of the Starry Camp is divided into many categories, and they are all randomly selected. Some people will be selected for one category, while others will be selected for another category. Those who go to the Devil Capital Mountain are only a small part of the Starry Camp assessment. Wu Zifeng explained. Lu Ming was enlightened. So that was the case. It seemed like Wu Zifeng's 2 cousins had participated in other assessments and did not complete the assessment. It's all right. The Demon Lord token is useless. If your cousins need it, just give it to them. Lu Ming said. Then I will thank you in advance. I will call my 2 cousins over. Wu Zifeng revealed a joyful expression and left Lu Ming's courtyard. Not long later, Wu Zifeng came over with 2 young men. The 2 young men looked like they were in their 20s. They were tall and sturdy and handsome. Wu Ming. Wu Yu. Greetings, Brother Lu. The 2 young men cupped their fists towards Lu Ming. Brother, you are too polite. I heard that you too need the Demon Lord token, so I have 2 extra here. Here. 2 Demon Lord tokens appeared in Lu Ming's hand. With a wave of his hand, they flew towards Wu Ming and Wu Yu. Wu Ming and Wu Yu reached out to receive them and revealed a joyful expression. Brother Lu, how much are the Demon Lord tokens? We will buy them. Wu Ming said. Since you're Zifeng's brothers, then you're my brothers. We're all brothers of the same family, so there's no need to be so polite. I have no use for these 2 Demon Lord tokens, so just take them. There's no need to buy them. Lu Ming said with a smile. Then this, how can we accept it? Wu Yu was a little hesitant. Brothers Wu, unless you look down on me, Lu Ming, and don't want to be friends with me. Lu Ming purposely sighed. Brother Lu, you have misunderstood. We have heard from Zifeng that Brother Lu is a peerless genius. We have long wanted to be friends with you. How can we look down on you? That's right. If that's the case, we will accept these Demon Lord tokens. Wu Ming and Wu Yu quickly said. Brothers Wu, when are you going to the Starry Camp? Lu Ming changed the topic and asked. There are 7 more days before we report to the Starry Camp. How about we go together then? Wu Ming said. That's what I want. Lu Ming smiled. They were all young people and soon became familiar with each other. The few of them took out wine and chatted while drinking. Lu Ming knew more about the 9 Extinction Heavenly King Palace. After 3 rounds of wine, Wu Zifeng and the others left. In the next few days, Lu Ming and Xueqi stayed in the Wu family. They did not know that there were 2 black-robed men wandering around the Wu family. What should we do? They have entered the Wu family. One of them said. The Wu family was extremely powerful. There was nothing they could do when Lu Ming and his crew entered the Wu family. It's impossible for them to stay in the Wu family forever. They have acquired the Demon Emperor badges and the Demon Lord tokens. They will most likely join the Starry Camp. We should prepare ourselves on the way to the Starry Camp and kill them all. The other black-robed man said coldly. The 2 observed for a while longer before leaving the place. 3 days were gone in the blink of an eye. On this day, Lu Ming was cultivating. In the past few days, he had been cultivating the Saint-grade divine technique he had obtained from the Dark Knight Devil King. Previously at the Demon Capital Mountain, Lu Ming had forcefully broken through to the 4th layer Heaven God realm, resulting in his foundation being unstable. It was impossible for Lu Ming to have a breakthrough in the following days. He could only strengthen his foundation before he could continue to break through to the next level. While he was polishing his foundation, Lu Ming could use this opportunity to practice his new magical technique. At that instant, a strange energy fluctuation was emitted from Lu Ming's wrist. The energy fluctuation came from Xueqi. Xueqi had always turned into a bracelet on Lu Ming's wrist. It had been asleep for a few hundred years, but there was finally some movement now. Lu Ming was overjoyed. Chapter 2977. Lu Ming was overjoyed. Xueqi, who had not moved for hundreds of years, finally moved. He knew that Xueqi had most likely refined the bronze that it had devoured in the ancient god world. After refining it for hundreds of years, what realm would Xueqi's cultivation reach? Lu Ming was looking forward to it. At this moment, Xueqi's bracelet glowed and flew out, turning into a metal ball that emitted a powerful energy wave. Qiu Moon was also startled. She came out of her room and looked at Xueqi curiously. Young master, what's wrong? Qiu Moon asked. Xueqi is about to evolve. Such a powerful energy wave. Lu Ming's expression changed slightly. The light emitted from Xueqi's body became brighter, and the energy wave that it emitted became stronger. Come, let's leave this place first, Lu Ming said. He waved his hand and put Xueqi into a storage ring. Then, he and Qiu Moon flew out of the Wu family. Lu Ming was a guest brought back by the 3rd young master of the Wu family, Wu Zifeng. Naturally, no one stopped them. Lu Ming left the Wu family smoothly. He sped up and found a secluded place to let Xueqi out. Boom! As soon as Xueqi was let out, it emitted a powerful energy wave. At the same time, an endless amount of divine qi gathered toward Xueqi. Fortunately, this was the Jiuju Heavenly King residence. The divine qi was extremely dense, even denser than low-grade divine crystals. A large amount of divine qi was absorbed by Xueqi. Xueqi's aura rose at an astonishing speed. 3rd level Heavenly God, 4th level Heavenly God, 5th level Heavenly God. Soon, it reached 9th level Heavenly God. This, Lu Ming and Qiu Moon were dumbfounded. They were stunned by the speed of improvement. The speed of improvement was faster than a rocket. However, it did not stop after reaching 9th level Heavenly God. It continued to improve. At the next moment, Qiu's aura skyrocketed again. It broke through 9th level Heavenly God and reached the half-step Divine King realm. However, it was still not the limit. It was still improving. Could it break through to the Divine King realm? Lu Ming was both shocked and expectant. After sleeping for several hundred years, he had managed to make a breakthrough from Celestial God realm all the way to God King realm. If others were to hear of this, they would surely be shocked to death. However, Qiu had refined the mysterious bronze, so anything was possible. Qiu's body shone with resplendent light, flickering with a bronze luster. Its body seemed to be nurturing a terrifying energy that was charging towards the God King realm. Boom! Boom! Intense rumbling sounds came from Qiu's body. After a while, boom! An incomparably terrifying aura burst out from Qiu's body. A powerful pressure emanated from Qiu. Under this pressure, Lu Ming and Qiu could not help but retreat continuously. They only came to a stop after they had retreated more than 10,000 meters. Qiu really broke through the pressure of a God King. Lu Ming was delighted. Qiu's strength was already shocking. If it broke through to the Divine King realm, it would be even more powerful. Now that Lu Ming had just arrived at the 9 Extinction Heavenly King Palace, he did not know what kind of danger he would face. Now that Qiu had broken through, it would become a powerful helper for Lu Ming. Phew! 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 Boundless energy gathered towards Qiu. A few hours later, Qiu stopped absorbing the energy and its aura stabilized. Celestial God Realm. Lu Ming could feel that Qiu's cultivation was at Celestial God Realm. After retracting its aura, a pair of eyes and a mouth appeared on Qiu's round body as it looked at Lu Ming. Lu Ming, Lu Ming, I have broken through to the Divine King realm. Ha ha ha. Qiu laughed and pounced towards Lu Ming, landing on Lu Ming's shoulder. You can speak now? Lu Ming smiled. Yes, I can after breaking through to the Divine King realm. Unfortunately, I am only at Celestial God realm. Qiu let out a sigh. Lu Ming and Qiu were speechless. Qiu had only slept for a few hundred years and he had broken through to the Divine King realm, yet he still looked unsatisfied. If others knew about this, wouldn't they be angered to death? Lu Ming, why are you only at Celestial God realm? Isn't that too slow? How did you cultivate? Qiu spoke again, almost causing Lu Ming to suffer internal injuries. Lu Ming's eyelids twitched a few times as he said, Yes, you are awesome. All right, I will rely on you if I encounter an opponent that I cannot defeat in the future. Don't worry, leave it to me. I feel like I have endless energy. Qiu shouted as its round body bounced around in the air. Lu Ming was in a good mood as Qiu had broken through to the Divine King realm. He took out a large amount of precious metals and fed them to Qiu. Qiu's eyes lit up when it saw the metals. It extended 2 of its tentacles and stuffed them into its mouth. It was beaming with joy. With Qiu's awakening, the following days were livelier. Soon 10 days had passed. On this day, Lu Ming and Qiu met up with Wu Ming and Wu Yu. They left the Wu family and headed towards the Starry Camp. The Starry Camp was also on the Planet 9 Extinction Heavenly King residence. It was quite far away from the Wu family. The 4 of them quickly flew towards the Starry Camp. Lu Ming, wait. Just as everyone was flying over a mountain range, the quantifying character formula called out, looking rather anxious. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat and he immediately shouted, Wait! He pulled Qiu's hand and stopped. Brother Lu, what's wrong? Seeing Lu Ming suddenly stop, Wu Ming and Wu Yu also stopped and looked at Lu Ming in surprise. Lu Ming did not answer. He did not know what was going on either. He was asking Qiu. Old Qiu, what's wrong? Lu Ming asked. I don't know the details. I can sense that the energy in front is abnormal. Qiu said. Abnormal energy? Lu Ming was puzzled. Yes, the energy is abnormal. It's very powerful. It's like some kind of formation. Qiu said. Qiu did not know much about formations, but he was extremely sensitive to energy. Formation? Lu Ming frowned. There was actually a formation in this barren mountain range. Could there be some kind of ruins in front? Lu Ming's imagination ran wild. There might be a formation in front. Lu Ming said to Wu Yu and Wu Ming. A formation? Could it be some kind of ruins? Wu Ming and Wu Yu thought so too. I don't know, but this formation is very powerful. I'm afraid it's not something we can break. Let's remember the location and find some experts to break it in the future. Let's bypass this place first, Lu Ming said. Wu Ming and Wu Yu nodded. This was a safer method. Then, everyone bypassed this area and moved forward in another direction. However, they did not fly far. In the barren mountain below, there was a flash of light. A group of people surrounded Lu Ming and the other three in the middle. This was a group of people wearing blood-rimmed robes with a wooden expression. However, each of them was emitting a cold, murderous intent. Chapter 2978. Who are you guys? Wu Yu and Wu Ming's faces changed drastically as they shouted. However, these people in blood-red robes did not even look at Wu Ming and Wu Yu. Their expressions were still stiff. You guys are able to sense our formation and go around it. Impressive, but you still have to die. One of the burly men spoke. Even when he spoke, his expression was still stiff. His voice was cold and emotionless. So, you guys are the ones who set up the formation. Lu Ming's eyes turned cold. It seemed that the other party had been waiting for them here for a long time and had set up a large formation here. Fortunately, the measure character formula had sensed the unusual energy fluctuation and thus avoided the formation. Otherwise, once they walked into the formation set up by others, it would be really dangerous. Who were the other party? Lu Ming thought of Qin Wuyo and the others. In the Qin Tian Starfield, Lu Ming had fought with Qin Wuyo and the others. He had suppressed a group of sky prides from the 9 Extinction Heavenly King Palace and offended a group of people. Those people had a reason to kill Lu Ming. However, when Lu Ming arrived, he did not see Qin Wuyo and the others. How did they know that Lu Ming was here? There was also Wu Shui and the others that he had met in the Devil Capital Mountain. Those people also had a reason to kill Lu Ming. However, they did not know that he had come to the 9 Extinction Heavenly King Palace. Could it be that I'm being followed? Lu Ming's heart suddenly moved as he thought of this possibility. This was the only way for the Wu family to get to the Starry Sky Camp. If the other party did not keep an eye on his whereabouts, how could they set up a formation here? Lu Ming thought of so many things in an instant. However, the other party had already made their move. Kill! 3 burly men with stiff expressions appeared in their hands. 2 rays of saber light slashed towards Lu Ming at the same time. Fast, extremely fast. They attacked at the same time without any delay. Their coordination was flawless. It was obvious that they had been trained for many years. If you want to kill our Wu family's friend, you'll have to go through us first. Wu Yu and Wu Ming shouted and attacked as well. The divine skills they cultivated were extremely unique. Once they attacked, 10,000 horses galloped. Hundreds of divine horses stepped on the void, wanting to trample the enemy to death. However, as the saber light slashed out, the divine horses were shattered one by one. In the blink of an eye, hundreds of mystical horses were annihilated. Wu Ming and Wu Yu were knocked back while vomiting mouthfuls of blood. Half-step Divine King Realm. Which clan are you from? Wu Ming and Wu Yu roared at the same time. Both of them were 8th-layer heavenly gods, and their divine force was undoubtedly divine-grade divine force. However, their opponent was a half-step god king, which completely suppressed them. Let's go down and find the answer, said the 2 middle-aged men coldly. Once again, they attacked Lu Ming. The other people in blood-red robes surrounded them to prevent Lu Ming and the others from escaping. Roar! At this moment, Lu Ming let out an ancient god's roar. His body rapidly swelled up, transforming into an ancient god's body. Boom! Boom! His long spear shuddered and swept forward, colliding with the saber light. 2 explosions took place, and the 2 middle-aged men were sent flying. His strength is indeed shocking. Let's attack together and end this quickly. One of the men in blood-red robes said coldly. With a flicker, he charged at Lu Ming. The others also attacked at the same time. Rays of saber light were dazzling and filled with murderous intent. It was a saber designed to kill. There was nothing fancy about it, but it was swift and powerful. You guys, stay behind me. Lu Ming waved his hand, shrouding Yu, Wu Ming, and Wu Yu with a god force. Following which, his long spear shuddered and fired rays of spear light. Dozens of giant spear shadows filled the sky, piercing in all directions. Explosions took place between the heavens and earth. There were 12 men in blood-red robes in total. All of them were half-step divine kings. Furthermore, they had all practiced divine skills designed to kill. Their strength was terrifying when they worked together. Even with Lu Ming's current strength, it was still difficult for him to fight them. Clang! A ray of saber light pierced through Lu Ming's attack and landed on his body. Sizzling sounds could be heard and sparks could be seen. A piece of green scale was cut open and fresh blood oozed out. The other party's attack was enough to break through Lu Ming's defense. Get lost! Lu Ming shouted and unleashed the divine dragon image technique. 7 9-clawed dragon images rushed towards a direction. At the same time, Lu Ming also rushed towards the same direction. Bang! Bang! A series of clashes broke out. A few of the men in blood-red robes were pushed back by the 9-clawed dragon images. Then, Lu Ming took the opportunity to break out of the encirclement. After breaking out of the encirclement, Lu Ming protected Xueqi and the others behind him. He no longer had any scruples. Since you want to kill me, then all of you shall stay here today. Lu Ming's eyes flashed with ruthlessness. He broke out of the encirclement not because he wanted to escape, but because he wanted to have a better opportunity to attack. Starburst! Lu Ming roared. Then the divine power in Lu Ming's body poured into the long spear. Whoosh! A huge ray of spear light burst out from the long spear and pierced towards the 12 men in blood-red robes. Go around them! One of the men in blood-red robes shouted coldly. The 12 men in blood-red robes used a strange technique and dodged the attack of the spear light. They went around the spear light from both sides. Lu Ming's lips curled into a cold smile. How could the starburst move be so easily avoided? Explode! Lu Ming whispered. Boom! The huge spear light suddenly exploded and turned into countless waves of energy that swept in all directions. It was like a stormy sea, crushing the 12 men in blood-red robes. Not good! The 12 men in blood-red robes were shocked and retreated frantically. However, they were still hit by the powerful waves of energy and coughed up blood. They were seriously injured. Kill! Lu Ming took the opportunity to attack. However, at this moment, Lu Ming's face changed drastically. He felt a terrifying pressure coming from the sky. Then, an incomparably powerful force pressed down on Lu Ming. Lu Ming did not care about killing his opponents. He waved his spear and swept it towards the sky. At this moment, he realized that there was a ray of saber light in the sky that was slashing towards him. Boom! The ray of saber light struck the long spear. In an instant, Lu Ming's face changed. The power of this ray of saber light was terrifying and unfathomable. Lu Ming was shocked and his body retreated. The long spear in his hand was constantly vibrating and he almost lost his grip on it. Divine King! Lu Ming whispered and looked at the sky. There was another man in blood-red robes in the sky. He looked to be in his 60s. He stepped on the void and came down from the sky. This man was a Divine King expert. The man in blood-red robes stared at Lu Ming in astonishment. I've received news that a 4th-layer Heaven God Realm Cultivator's strength is monstrous. I didn't believe it at first, so I asked them to give it a try. Who would have thought that your strength is even more terrifying than I imagined? The man exclaimed. This man in the bloodlined robe was much more emotional than the other men in bloodlined robes. Chapter 2979. Men of Sacrifice, Your Men of Sacrifice. Suddenly, Wu Ming thought of something and his face turned ugly. So what if you can see it? The Divine King in blood-red robes sneered coldly. Which family are you from? We're the core disciples of the Wu family. You dare to kill us? Are you trying to start a war with the Wu family? Wu Yu shouted. Who knows who killed you if I kill all of you? The other party sneered. Wu Ming and Wu Yu's face turned pale with despair. The other party even sent a Divine King Men of Sacrifice. They would definitely die today. 12 half-step Divine Kings and 1 Divine King. It's a sure thing to kill us heavenly gods. Since we're going to die, can you tell me who sent you? Lu Ming pretended to be desperate and asked. Kid, don't try to trick us, we won't tell you. A cold voice was heard. It did not come from the God King Realm man in a blood-red robe, but from behind Lu Ming. Lu Ming, Chiu Autumn Moon, Wu Ming and Wu Yu's expression changed and they quickly turned around. Unknowingly, another man in a blood-red robe appeared behind them. He was a skinny middle-aged man, but the aura he emitted was extremely terrifying. Divine King. Another Divine King. The other party sent out 2 Divine Kings. Wu Ming and Wu Yu were in despair. The other party's plan was flawless. They sent out 2 Divine Kings. Moreover, they didn't appear at once. They sent out 1 Divine King first while the other one hid in the dark to check the situation. After making sure that there was no problem, the other Divine King appeared. 2 Divine Kings surrounded them from the front and back. In addition, there were 12 half-step Divine King experts. With such a lineup, Lu Ming and the others were doomed. Lu Ming also pretended to look miserable. He gave a long sigh and said, 2 Divine Kings. What a big deal. Are there any more? Come out together. We're more than enough to kill you, the skinny middle-aged man said. Since we're going to die, can you tell me why you want to kill me? Is it for revenge or something on me? Lu Ming asked again. He wanted to take the opportunity to get some clues from the other party. However, the 2 Divine Kings remained expressionless and didn't say anything. They didn't reveal any information. However, Lu Ming caught the expressions of the few half-step Divine King realm men in blood-red robes. When Lu Ming asked this question, several half-step Divine King realm men in blood-red robes instinctively glanced at the storage ring on Lu Ming's finger. He wasn't seeking revenge. He wanted to snatch something from Lu Ming. In an instant, Lu Ming made a judgment. What was it? Lu Ming's mind raced. Don't waste your breath on him. Let's finish the mission first. Behind him, the skinny middle-aged man shouted coldly, emitting a terrifying killing intent. Whoosh! A terrifying saber light slashed towards Lu Ming. Qiu, I'll leave it to you. Lu Ming waved his hand and Qiu flew behind him. 2 First Heaven King God Realm guys. Leave it to me. Qiu's voice resounded in Lu Ming's mind. Then, his body swelled, turning into a giant metal ball and dashing over. Dong! The saber light was shattered by Qiu's attack. His body didn't stop, rushing towards the skinny middle-aged man. The skinny middle-aged man was shocked. He didn't expect that his attack would be shattered by a metal ball. Die! Qiu shouted. His giant body was like a mountain pressing down on the skinny middle-aged man. Get lost! The skinny middle-aged man reacted, holding his saber with both hands and slashing. Dong! The saber slashed on Qiu's body. However, it didn't split Qiu's body as he had expected. Instead, his body shook violently, retreating continuously. His arms were numb. Die! Qiu extended 2 tentacles, turning them into 2 sabers, slashing towards the skinny middle-aged man. In a flash, he had slashed hundreds of times. The skinny middle-aged man tried his best to fight back. Dong, dong, dong. The 2 continued to clash. However, the skinny middle-aged man was no match for Qiu. He tried his best to block a few attacks, but Qiu slashed him horizontally, cutting him in half. He almost died. Damn it! How is this possible? At this moment, the Divine King in front of Lu Ming shouted as if he had just woken up from a dream. Kill! Kill that kid! The skinny middle-aged man was cut in half by Qiu, but he didn't die. He shouted loudly. Die! The Divine King in front of Lu Ming shouted and attacked. A terrifying saber light slashed towards Lu Ming. Moon slashing. Lu Ming waved his long spear, using all of his strength to attack. Dong! Lu Ming felt like he was hit by an immemorial mountain. His body shook violently. His 100-meter-tall body was pushed back continuously. He felt his qi and blood tumbling in his body. He spat out a mouthful of blood. A Divine King was much stronger than a heavenly god and a half-step Divine King. With Lu Ming's current cultivation, he was still no match for a Divine King. As soon as Lu Ming retreated, Qiu, Autumn Moon, Wu Ming and Wu Yu were exposed. I'll kill the 3 of you first. The other party shouted coldly and slashed with his saber. A terrifying saber light that was blood-red slashed towards Qiu, Autumn Moon and the other 2. If they were hit, with Qiu Yu and the other 2's cultivation, they would definitely die. Qiu, Lu Ming shouted. Leave it to me. Qiu opened his mouth. Then, his round body emitted streaks of lightning. Asterisk zap, zap. Asterisk a bolt of lightning as thick as an arm shot towards the Divine King in front of Lu Ming. The speed of the lightning was extremely fast. In a flash, it reached the other party's saber light. With a puff, the other party's saber light was extinguished. The lightning continued to strike the other party's body. Ah! A shrill scream was heard. Then there was no sound. When the lightning disappeared, only a charred corpse could be seen floating in the air without any signs of life. In the next moment, the charred corpse fell to the ground. Dead. A divine king was killed just like that. At this moment, the skinny man and the other men in blood-red robes were shocked. To kill a divine king in one move. What kind of cultivation was that? Run! The skinny man shouted. Half of his body retreated in an attempt to escape. Did I say you could leave? Dang! Xueqi's voice was heard as he slashed with his saber. This saber strike carried traces of lightning. The skinny man screamed. He followed in the footsteps of the previous divine king and was turned into a charred corpse. Another divine king was killed. The 12 half-step divine king men in blood-red robes were shocked. They fled in all directions. Trying to escape? Stay here. Lu Ming shouted coldly. He used the 9 heavens Garuda technique and chased after the other party. At the same time, Xueqi also chased after them. He opened his mouth and shot out streaks of lightning like an electric net. Chapter 2980. Asterisk zap zap asterisk. The lightning that Xueqi spat out was terrifyingly powerful as it charged forward like an electric net. 3 of the men in blood-red robes were struck by the lightning and their bodies turned into ashes. At the same time, Lu Ming waved his spear and shot out thousands of spear lights towards the men in blood-red robes who were trying to escape. Then, Xueqi arrived and killed a few more of them. At this moment, Wu Ming and Wu Yu were completely dumbfounded. The tide of the battle had turned too quickly. Initially, they were in despair. The other party had sent out 12 half-step divine king experts and 2 divine king experts. They were just a bunch of heavenly god realm rookies. They were definitely going to die if they tried to kill them with such a lineup. They never expected that Lu Ming would throw out a metal ball that was so powerful that it killed the 2 divine kings in a few moves. A divine king metallic life form. Wu Ming and Wu Yu muttered, unable to calm down. Xueqi, keep them alive. At this moment, Lu Ming transmitted his voice to Xueqi. All right. Xueqi replied. Its 2 tentacles turned into 2 large hammers and rushed towards one of the men in blood-red robes and smashed down. Although the man in blood-red robes tried his best to resist, how could he withstand Xueqi's power with his strength? Even a divine king at the same level couldn't withstand Xueqi's attack. Asterisk boom. Asterisk. The man in the blood-red robe was smashed into the ground like a meteor, causing a mountain to collapse. A huge crater appeared in the ground, and the man lay in the crater, twitching and coughing up mouthfuls of blood. He was half dead, unable to move. Then, Xueqi rushed towards another man in blood-red robes. With Lu Ming blocking it and Xueqi's astonishing speed, those men in blood-red robes couldn't escape at all. Asterisk dong. Asterisk asterisk dong. Asterisk. Xueqi hammered the remaining 6 men in blood-red robes one by one. They were all embedded in the ground, half dead. 12 half-step divine kings and 2 divine kings were dealt with. How was it? Lu Ming, I'm awesome, right? Xueqi's body shrunk and flew towards Lu Ming, looking like he was asking for credit. Amazing, absolutely amazing. Lu Ming gasped in admiration. He was truly in admiration. Xueqi's battle prowess was becoming more and more astonishing. Those who could reach the divine king realm were all geniuses. Their strength would not be weak. However, the other 2 god kings were crushed by Xueqi, unable to retaliate at all. Lu Ming estimated that Xueqi's competence was enough to resist a warrior of the 2nd sky of King God realm. If it used all of its powers, it could resist a warrior of the 3rd sky of King God realm. One should know that it was much harder for a divine king to fight someone of a higher cultivation level than a heavenly god, true god or empty god. There were many Empyrean gods and true gods who were capable of fighting above their level of power, but once they reached the god king level, they would no longer be able to do so. After chatting with Xueqi for a while, Lu Ming's body shrunk to the size of a normal person. He took a step forward and landed beside a person in a blood-rimmed robe. Tell me who sent you. Tell me and I'll spare your life. Lu Ming said. If you want to kill me, then kill me. Don't even think about getting a single word out of me. The other party said coldly. Aren't you afraid of death? Lu Ming's voice was even colder. If you want to kill me, then kill me. The other party was expressionless and fearless. Puff. Lu Ming was straightforward. With a flick of his finger, a ray of spear light shot out and pierced the other party's forehead, killing him instantly. Then, with a flash of his body, he appeared beside the next person in a blood-rimmed robe. "Tell me who sent you?" Lu Ming continued to ask. The other party had seen everything that had happened. However, there was no fear in his eyes. With a wooden expression he said, "If you want to kill me, then kill me. Don't even think about getting a single word out of me." His answer was exactly the same as the previous person. "Do you think that I don't have a way to deal with you if you don't answer me?" Lu Ming harumphed coldly. His divine power surged out and restrained the other party. Then, he performed a soul-searching technique to find the answer from the other party's soul. However, when Lu Ming's spiritual consciousness approached the other party's soul suddenly glowed and emitted a powerful fluctuation. Not good. Lu Ming was shocked. He quickly withdrew his spiritual consciousness. The moment he did so, the other party's head exploded like a watermelon. Self-destruct. Lu Ming's face was gloomy. There was a self-destruct restriction placed in the other party's soul. Once the other party's soul got close, the other party's soul would self-destruct. Lu Ming, it's useless. These are men of sacrifice trained by the big families. There's a self-destruct restriction placed in their souls. It's impossible to search their souls for information. At this moment, Wu Ming, Wu Yu, and Xueqi flew over. Wu Ming said, "Men of sacrifice trained by the big families? Which big families train men of sacrifice?" Lu Ming asked. "Some of the big families in the 9 Extinction Heavenly King Mansion have trained men of sacrifice to carry out some shady missions secretly. Even our Wu family has them." Wu Ming said, "That's right. These men of sacrifice are very secretive. It's impossible to identify which family they belong to." Wu Yu added, "Let's try again." Lu Ming was still unwilling to give up. He interrogated the remaining 4 men in blood-edge robes. However, the other party did not say a word. Once he searched their souls, the other party's soul would explode. In the end, Lu Ming had no choice but to finish off the remaining men in blood-edge robes. What a pity! Lu Ming sighed softly. He had a feeling that these men of sacrifice were here for something on him. Lu Ming speculated that it might be the Dark Knight Demon King's storage ring. If they're really here for the Dark Knight Demon King's storage ring, it's very likely to be related to the theft of the 9 Extinction Divine Crystal. There might be clues in the Dark Knight Demon King's storage ring, so the other party wants to snatch it back. Lu Ming kept thinking, but he had more doubts. Because he had already checked the Dark Knight Demon King's storage ring and found nothing. Originally, he wanted to find out who sent these men of sacrifice to kill him. If he could find the person behind the scenes, he might be able to find the real culprit behind the theft of the 9 Extinction Divine Crystal. Unfortunately, the clues were cut off. It seems like I have to be more careful in the future. This time, it's all thanks to Xueqi. Lu Ming secretly rejoiced in his heart. He had to admit that his luck was not bad. Fortunately, Xueqi had woken up before this and his strength had greatly improved. Otherwise, he would be in danger. Lu Ming, let's hurry to the Starry Camp. There are many experts in the Starry Camp. No force would dare to send people to commit murder in the Starry Camp. Wu Ming said. All right. Lu Ming nodded. Then, the 4 of them set off for the Starry Camp. Not long after Lu Ming and the other 3 left, a few men in black robes appeared. When the men in black robes saw the corpses on the ground, they were stunned. What happened? What is going on? Even the Divine King was killed. That kid is definitely not that strong. One of the men in black robes roared. You're tuning in to the Xueqi's Martial Arts Saga YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.